me, Rabbi, from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So I just finished doing a rather exhaustive 3-hour stream, right? I'm trying to do the review of the year. I've been going through all my major thumbnails of the year. It's been quite a lot of fun. I just come off that. I'm a bit cream crackered, mate. I'm a bit knackered. What I want to do is, this was... we did the review of my thumbnails of the year. It took me 2 streams about, so I want to edit them all together, which is going to be this video right now. And I want to put it out. I think it's going to go out Friday night. So for me, I am enjoying the Sabbath Bride right now. I am offline. I'm enjoying, but I'm downloading it now so I can upload it as soon as possible. But I want to do the introduction right now so I can get it done. So, hi, my name is Tzvi Lebetkin. Like, share, subscribe. This is an overview of the year. And boy, what a weird, shitty year it's been. There's been a few highs, but mainly blands and lows. And this, we talk about this in the review of the year. The thing I have looking at a macro overview of the year is how our systems, our warning systems, have completely failed, right? Society should completely be on fire right now. But, you know, we don't have an accountable political class or media. So, you know, which we kind of rely on. And so nobody's really noticing how terrible things are. That's my vibe of 2022. I think 2023 might be the year that people notice, right? Maybe. Who knows or dares to dream? I guess we're going to find out. But yeah, we're going to get... This is a lengthy, in-depth overview of the year. It's basically me taking the piss out of everything that happened over the last 12 months. And, you know, I think that's worth watching right there. Can I ask you, can you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done that? That'd be fan-dabby-double everything. Like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are great. Sign up my Substack, my email newsletter. Sign up my paid Substack. Essentially exactly the same thing. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter. All these things are fantastic. I like you doing all these things. So in this stream, I am joined by, in the first half, Problem Being and Mega Geek, as we schmooze about the things of the year. And the second half, Dan Hadley from the Spacebook and Dr. Alex Lees. So I hope to put everybody in the video notes, if I remember. Who knows or dares to dream, right? Who knows or dares to dream? Fine, so I was going to say, let me hand over to me from last night, but it's actually handing over from me now. But it's not at all. This is handing over from me to 2 nights ago on Tuesday when I did the first 6 months of the year. This is going to be one big mega cut. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me hand over to me from a few days ago. Anyway, this is the review of 2022. I've gone through all my thumbnails. I've got 80 thumbnails that I think are important that we need to, that'll bring us through the cultural context of the year. Remind us of what happened, what didn't happen. And my first thing was a review of Around the World in 80 Days. Did you see this?
Yes, I saw bits of it and it was incredibly woke, so I ducked out of it.
I didn't find it woke. See, I know my bar for woke is so much lower than yours.
Yeah, I know. There you go.
The girls can create a genuine character and Passepartout also genuine 3-dimensional characters, which is like, okay, that's fine. No, I've always liked.
I'll stick to the cartoons from the 80s.
Yeah, same here.
They were good. They were good. And follow that up with the D'Artagnan, you know, and then you're in good strong territory.
Then a city.
But of course, you New Year's Day bought us Ecky Thump. I've only got 3 episodes.
Speaking of annoying accents.
What?
I haven't watched any of these. I've not watched any of these. I just, as I said, I ducked out from the season 1. I thought this is just absolute nonsense. Not even Doctor Who, so I ducked out.
It got worse. It got worse, mate. It got worse.
It's like, how many boxes can you tick in Doctor Who? Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
But it's not even that. It was the deep lack of quality making them layered on top of, and the incompetence layered on top of the wokeness. It was like they didn't know what
shit
to do.
Sprinkles.
Yes. So this one, so weird. Okay, so a great premise, and they didn't notice the weird bit of it because they're just weird and they don't understand human beings. You have this guy called Nick who keeps items from old girlfriends in a storage place. That he's the only
like their
customer
shoes
there.
and things.
Right, a box of Monopoly and things like that, like girlfriends or victims. We can't really tell, right? And he only goes there once a year on Christmas or New Year's, depending on when they were aired. So this was New Year's to deposit some more victims' stuff in it, right?
Who are we talking about?
This is the episode of Doctor Who, right?
But what's the character? Who's Nick?
It's the character on the far right there, next to Eve of the Daleks.
Oh, the black guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay, gotcha. Go on.
So anyway, but they can't say there's anything wrong with him because I don't think black. I think it wasn't he swarthy? I can't remember. He's a darkish guy. Okay, black guy. Let's say black guy. Fine. So so he's he goes there once a year, but he's really in love with Ailsing B or whatever her bloody name is, because she's
because he is.
I don't know. She can't stand him though. She hates the thing and she wants to get rid of it. So into all of this, the Doctor turns up, and they're caught in a time loop that keeps getting shorter. So that bit's actually quite good. But anytime she's in it, she's awful. And this, she's trying to. Basically, they had this big story plan, but they couldn't afford to do it, so they had to do something set in like one location. So this is what came out. And honestly, I don't think it was bad. I mean, the sense.
And this is the episode. This is the episode where Dan outs Yaz, the Doctor, as
that's correct.
Her.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Weird. There's something wrong with the TARDIS, but they don't really explain that either. That happens in Flux. This is some of the least incompetent stuff they've done, as bewilderingly incompetent. Very well directed though. First time director, I think she did an excellent job, right? And I think the Daleks in this. I forgot about this. At one point, this is the most mind-blowing bit, right? At one point, they have to hide from the Daleks, who are special executioner Daleks with super guns, right? They have to hide from them, so they go into the storage unit and they close the door. She doesn't sonic it or anything like that. It's just a normal
corrugated door. You know, one of those pull-down dobbies.
How much time would it have taken her to go? Oh look, we put the force field up. That'll hold for a minute. That would have been easy, right? No, they didn't do that. So the Dalek then fires at the door but can't open it. Go, pew, 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 pew,
and it's got a Gatling gun.
Penetrate. Yeah, it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen him. I'm like, what? It's so dumb. It's painfully dumb. And it was the lowest rated episode of Doctor Who up until that time. The worst was yet to come. Yes. It's Thasman time, baby. Yeah, they're just on course for Thasman. It wasn't kindly reviewed. Let's put it that way. It wasn't kindly reviewed.
But hold on, but why have this story about her fancying the Jodie Doctor and they're not acting upon it? Did they act upon it? Because I never saw any of the show.
No,
I mean,
no. They sat on...
They did have a double bed in the console room at one point.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Really weird at the beginning of Flux. They had a big double bed in there, like they were scissoring in the TARDIS. It was very weird.
That was just weird.
Yeah, I mean, this era is just one big cluster. Yeah,
it is. That's why it can all make sense if this is all taking place in a different realm.
But it makes you wonder them sitting with the writers going, right, what story should we think up now then? And people just throwing random things in and they just chuck it in the script and not realizing it's not connecting or anything. That's the way I imagine them writing these episodes.
It looks like a first draft. All these episodes were like first drafts. That's what they look like to me.
I think less than that even. But it makes you wonder.
Half draft.
There must be competent script editors that went, what the fuck? What?
Because they didn't,
Probably
because
sacked
they
them.
had No, they had people that was all tick boxing people that didn't have enough experience to deal with scripts and being part of that team. So
you sack the experienced people. You sack the
Exactly.
experienced people to make way for the new generation of diversity and inclusion who've been given the job for the first time in their lives for a week.
Wrong.
But
and then he couldn't criticize them, right? So he hired Segun Akolino clearly because he's black, right? For no other reason. If his name was Reg Smith and he was white from Clapham, wouldn't have got the job, right?
Wait a moment. What? So they have a double bed in the TARDIS.
Yes.
And didn't anyone on the script writing table say why?
No.
That's what I'm saying. So it's incompetence of the highest level, isn't it?
Yeah.
This version of
nothing
Doctor
gets explained. The only time the story makes sense is when it's explained by the I say actors in inverted commas, because they can't explain a story without just verbally telling you what's happening. So all this nonsense stuff is happening in the thing, and then there's just an exposition dump, and that's it. It's all resolved. It's just awful.
I mean, at the end of Doctor Who Flux, their 6-part series, which was the best thing they'd done up until that point. Absolutely the best thing they'd done. They released a 15-minute explanation that only covered a small amount.
But I'm not explaining whether the universe was destroyed or not at the end of Flux.
I watched the last episode, and they had that. It was that comedian that was in it, John Bishop, and he's like in there in the beginning, then he leaves. I'm like, well, what's the point of him in there? What the hell? Just bad writing.
He would balance things out, but like
he probably couldn't wait to get out.
I have to say that. I just wish that opening made any bloody sense, because it was a very good pastiche of a Matt Smith action adventure thing, right? I just wish it made any bloody sense, and I cared about the characters, which I didn't about any of them. So this era a bit of a failure. Okay, next thing up. I'm going through day by day. Next review surprised me a lot. Have you seen this? Don't Look Up.
I did, yeah.
God,
I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, this is explains the government completely.
You know what? Awful. It really did scare me, because if something like that did happen, this is what they'd be doing. Do you know what I mean? It really does scare me.
And that is what they're doing.
Yeah.
These we're heading towards like a mass population reduction event. I have no idea what, but like we're heading towards that all steam ahead, because like these are the people in charge, right? Yeah, we are in trouble. But like the whole Don't Look Up, this is brilliant. I think this is absolutely pathetic. It's So
I did like it.
They thought they were being woke, but they actually were too accurate by mistake. So strong recommend.
Ugh. What's this one? How's our ratings going? No, agree to shag.
Geeky thump. Our ratings are so low. How is I even agreed to shag Yaz?
But that's the thing, you see. What was weird about it is that they suggested that they were going to shag, but the thing is, if they did shag, the ratings probably would have went up. Do you know what I mean? But they didn't do it.
No one wants to see that, Ian. Nobody. 5 people on Twitter. That's about it.
Yeah. Listen.
No, he bottled it anyway. He bottled it.
Listen, maybe a 1982 Perry and a Millie Gibson. I want that episode. Okay, yes. Absolutely, and I desperately want Millie to find the TARDIS costume room and try on Perry's outfit. Right,
but Perry's alive, isn't she? She didn't die.
She is.
She's alive, so they can bring her back.
Married.
So's that turquoise top. That's still alive as well, right? I think it's just right.
It's somewhere, mate.
It's always on my mind. Is where it is.
Always on my mind.
So we have 3 headline stories here, which are good. Chibnall Whittaker delivered the least popular Dalek story of all time. Actually, the least popular story of all time. Geeky thump. Star Trek Discovery, feelings and crying in space. Have you? You've never seen any of the later Star Trek Discovery, have you?
No, I stopped watching after the first
season. It's
No.
so bad. So bad.
Awful.
Can't watch
Absolutely
stuff like this
dreadful.
anymore.
It's actually much worse than
it breaks you. It breaks you.
Oh, it makes you stronger. It's like I don't know. I feel like what's the name? It emboldens my resolve. Agenda 2030, baby, says Mark the Vicar. Yeah, the Agenda 2030 is I think they want to have a economic collapse as well and force everybody into government housing so they can completely control them. We will all live in pods. We will eat bugs and we will own nothing and we will be happy. That is the plan, man. I really think that's the plan. But in the meantime, Michael Townsend takes over the role of the second Doctor. Did you hear that? That was very good.
I did. It was very good.
Well, to me, the only thing that matters is the TV show. I don't really like Big Finish. I don't like the comics. Just the TV show is Doctor Who for me. You know, when they start bringing in stuff from the comics. No, well, I do kind of, but I don't. I'm obviously it's getting worse, isn't it? Obviously, it's getting worse. So, do you know what I mean? So it's just I don't know.
I think it's about to get a lot better. I really do. I
hope so.
Okay, but listen, if you're missing good old school Doctor Who, may I recommend Dr. Alex, right? Dr. Alex. This was running all the way through January. Both season 12 and season 13, they're both on his YouTube channel. You can get them both as books on tape from Audible. You can get them from Amazon. It's really good. And to tell you, it's really genuinely properly good. I so strongly recommend this.
Yeah, we'll see.
He's a talent. He is a talent.
It is. It's a lot of fun. But what I don't recommend, this is from January 8th, Paper the Butcher. This was a piece of shit. Oh, my God.
It was pretty awkward listening to that, I have to say.
Yeah.
Not for me. I find a lot of problems with the Blake 7 Extended Universe since the passing, really, of Paul Darrow. I think his last outing was fantastic, but this no. It's just really
well. No,
the
last. I haven't heard the latest box set, but the two before then were both excellent. But the last one was very, very good. The one with Brian Croucher and his story to Star One about how he wants to betray humanity. That's really good. This was garbage, but that was really, really good. So I'm glad I stuck with it. I mean, they should really be doing. Trouble is, they always focus on Callie and Jenna, but they ignore Villa and Taryn, right?
I know. Where's Villa?
I wonder why. Why.
Because they don't have vaginas.
Well, that's it. You see, box, women. You know, it's the usual crap, isn't it? That's why I don't listen to any of this stuff. I can't be asked anymore.
R.I.P. Stephen Grief.
It's very, very sad. Very sad, I have to say.
I got to admit, I did like Callie and Jenna when I was watching Blake 7.
I never found Callie that spankable. Jenna.
I bet you're a Sulin guy.
Oh yes, definitely.
Oh yes,
definitely.
Yes.
But didn't Callie have something for Avon? There was one episode where it was clear that she fancied him.
Right? Yeah. That sounded like I can't remember. They went over that in the audios. Anyway, January 9th. We're only on January 9th so far. I think we're only going to.
I'm going to be here all day.
Doctor Who rating spin zone. How media grapples with a total failure of Jeff Whittaker. But if you ignore the millions of people we've alienated, these lowest ratings are only slightly disappointing.
The levels of cope was extraordinary.
It actually gets going on in about a week's time. It's like it just goes from bad to worse. It's really funny, but I tell you, Angry Jody Bear. I keep trying to retire it. It never stops, mate.
Did you go to Build-A-Bear to build that one?
No, I use the wonders of Photoshop. Meanwhile, when the Jodie people weren't saying Jodie was the bestest ever, they were saying insane fan media demands an LGBTQ plus Doctor Who, which
no.
Well, they've got it, haven't they?
Yes.
Basically, I mean, he's gay. I assume. I think. I mean, he hasn't asked to suck my dick, but I get the feeling he's gay.
But the fans demanded it, and now they've got it. LGBTQ.
No, it's not the fans that demanded it. It's the small vocal minority in Twitter who demanded it.
No, I'm just reading what it says there. Just reading what it says there.
But as usual, they get what they want at the cost of everything else. You know.
Well, so I think that Shooty got the role. I think Fady Alpha Dad had the role. We'll see him soon in the thumbnails. And Shooty came in and blew him away. And I think Fady is straight. So I don't think it was a factor, right? Well, this is when they kept demanding that what's his name from. I
think it was a factor. Actually, I disagree, but there you go.
I don't know. I think being a non-white actor was a factor.
What, Russell T? All gays are much more superior artistically than everyone else. Russell, I mean, really?
That's that. I agree with Lee. I mean, you can't avoid that fact. You know what I mean? What? So, look, he got picked because he was gay and he was black. Let's face it. There's no two ways about it. If he blows me away with his performance, we'll find out, right? We will find out, and then I'll say, yeah, maybe he blew them all away. But as it stands now, what the hell is going on? I'm sorry, there's nothing there. Absolutely nothing there.
I honestly, because I think he had the pick. I think this matters very much that to both Disney and Rusty Davis that this is very successful.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter to me, though.
I don't think they're around in any way, shape, or form. I think they're lining it up to be huge. I think he got in the room because he was black. I'm not sure about it, but I don't think being gay was a thing.
Oh, you are. What are you like? Where's all the flags coming up? Look, I just pointed it out in the chat. All roads lead this way, and you're still ignoring it. You're like a blind Doctor Who fan.
I don't
seriously wake up and smell the roses for God's sakes, or whatever, or the quality streets.
I understand it's an agenda, and I don't think you would have hired anybody who was. Well, but I don't think you would have hired anybody like vocally anti the LGBTQ alliance, right? I don't think Lawrence Fox was like in the running specifically because of his political views, right? That much I hear, right? I don't think being straight precluded you from being considered.
You think not?
Right? Sorry?
You think not?
Yeah, I don't. I really, yeah, I don't think.
I think how naive are you?
I think there's a propensity, though, for when you cast actors specifically because of their sexuality or whatever, that more and more often we're seeing that they're playing it more as themselves than as the actual character that they're supposed to play. So I think there's this need for the modern audience that they clamor for, to expect their actor to embody not the role, but themselves and their identity and bring that to the character rather than staying true to the character. It's just like,
I think
look at Shooty. I don't see Tom Baker and I don't see John Pertwee and I don't see Tennant. There doesn't seem to be a through line. It seems to me like they've done a sort of a particular cut-off and gone, right, we're not doing that anymore.
I don't know. I think they listen. They keep saying swearing blind is the reason. What is it? You'll see when we get up to it that Shooty basically stole the role at the last minute.
Absolute nonsense.
I'll show you who was tipped for it beforehand. Missing story animations cancelled. Yes, Jodie destroyed those as well. Right.
I used to really like her before she became the Doctor. I thought she was. I've seen her and stuff, and I really do like her as an actress.
No,
it's a shame.
I mean, I see Christian. I'm amazed that Christian have got another job, but I'm
a job training other people to be showrunners. What?
Yeah,
how? I mean, like, all you do is pay him lots of money, go on his course, and everything he tells you, you do the exact opposite, and then you'll be a success.
Yeah.
There you go, pretty much. So anyway, so Jody said, don't worry if they aren't making those popular animations anymore. I still have two more episodes left, Icky thought. Well, Charlton...
Sounds nothing like her.
You're just a bit of a cunt, aren't you? Fan media attacks unhinged fans. So that's it. At the same time this was happening, the Book of Boba Fett was sucking so hard. It was awful.
The book of Dad Bod Vet.
Yeah, it was like the only good bits was when they put Mandalorian in it. It was absolutely awful. So this next bit from the 50s is hilarious, right? Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker's epic journey to the bottom of the ratings.
A common theme.
Yeah, actually, this is the one. There's actually about a month later, it actually the ratings get worse, right? But it's actually this is the worst of the modern era. At the same time, Doctor Who 40 came out, which I quite enjoyed. 40 part 2 was actually stronger than 40 the part 1.
I didn't like the first one.
Oh, the second one was much better.
Much better, yeah.
In fact, just skip the first one. The second one's awesome. Really, really enjoyed the second one. At the same time, on the 16th, we had Peacemaker came out. I think this was one of the high spots of the year.
I haven't
Have
seen
you guys
it.
seen
quite
it?
enjoyed it.
I know. I didn't see it. Is it good?
I like it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it.
So I'm very optimistic about James Gunn. But I do think it's one of the high spots of the year. Really funny, got a lot of heart. Even made me quite like what's his name, the guy who played Peacemaker, even though he's like a super cuck who throw Taiwan under the bus or something like that. What's his name again?
Yeah,
John Cena. It even made me like him. I was quite impressed with that. So that was crazy.
Didn't he not kill one of the main characters in the actual movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, and then you make him give him a series and make him into a kind of a hero.
Well, no, the point of the series was he was kind of a pathetic, controlled loser, and it was about him becoming his own person.
Okay.
And it was much more about him being like a redneck superhero. That was really it. It was like a low-class redneck superhero. Which I found very funny. That already worked. Over on the 17th of January, big rumor broke, which would Danny Dyer is the Doctor.
Oh God.
He would be funny though if he was the Doctor. It'd be hilarious, wouldn't he, if he was the Doctor? It'd be so funny if he was like that.
I can hardly have to believe it myself. Doctor Rose, that new Doctor Who's a local lad. What a bit of lovely jubbly. Sadly not. But then we did get an interesting rumor. David Tennant is the next Doctor.
Well, to be fair, Noel from the TARDIS zone, he was talking about this about a year or so before all
right.
This. Yeah. So,
but I remember it just bubbled up, right? Who'd have thought this one would turn out to be true, right? That's crazy.
Well, I think
and John Barrowman cancelled that big finish on BBC orders. Apparently, the BBC are just they never forgive those they have wronged. So including John Barrowman. Then we have one of the next high spots of the year. The season 22 is awesome. Have you guys seen this?
I don't like him as the Doctor at all. He was all right. It's just just really.
God, you're like my miserable uncle.
No, I'm not. I'm the honest one here. I'm not biased. I say what I say. It's on my mind. You know, I just
I genuinely liked it.
Well, that's you. Good, great for you, not for me.
Actually, well, no, when I say I like it, I also will acknowledge that it was a lot of it was shit.
So you see, so you're on the same level as me, aren't you?
No, you
take Perry out of the equation and then see how much he likes it.
This box set is brilliant. They got 3 in-depth interviews in it. One with Nicola Bryant, one with Colin Baker, and one with Michael Grade. That's brilliant, right? So the stuff Michael Grade said, this was speaking with Matthew Sweet. The stuff with Michael, the thing he said was, well, firstly, he didn't realize it went on after season 22. He had no idea there was a Sylvester McCoy years. He had no idea at all. It was like, really? But the thing was, he said they didn't know what to do with it, so they just filled it with violence. And I think he's absolutely right. Right? I think the violence in it really does jar. It stands out. Even the 2 doctors, you have Patrick Troughton in this deep, kind of.
Yeah, that was a terrible episode. You got to admit.
No,
it was so rubbish that I almost threw something at the screen. It was so bad.
The 2 doctors has 2 doctors Perry, and there's a lot of jiggling. 2 doctors.
What? That's the reason why you liked it. That's definitely the Rabbi.
So I very much enjoyed that. Yeah, I like the 2 doctors. This is what they should have done, right? Because Eric Saywood didn't know what to do with this, so they should, especially the coat. He had no clue what to do with the coat, right? So they should have made it. He wanted to tell gritty crime dramas, which were kind of in at the time. And so what they should have somehow based him in contemporary London. They had this idea with Sylvester McCoy's Doctor. They should have done then, where he ends up he's helped by this underworld group, this underworld boss in the first episode who knows him, and he has this unit base set up for him. And then as the season goes on, you find out how they met in the past. So that's some kind of arcing theme like that. It would have given it some kind of structure. But there's a lot of it that's very good. I mean, firstly, okay, this is the way you watch the Mark of the Rani, and it makes sense. That the Master has discovered a Special K, ketamine.
Special K.
Yeah.
After breakfast every morning.
If you watch, that's right. If you watch that episode, the Master is constantly off his tits, constantly off his tits, right? For some reason, he's hiding out as a scarecrow, and then he's prancing and thinking nobody can do. I'm gonna sneak up on the Rani. It's he's off his face on some weird alien shit, and it makes so much sense then.
I honestly think that I didn't warm to Colin the very first time I saw him. I did not warm to him. They made the same mistake with Bacaldi. They made Bacaldi unlikable when he first started. Same thing with this guy as well. When he first started, I just didn't like him, and then I tuned out.
Right.
And with Peter, I tuned out, but then I went back to Peter because I thought, let me give him another chance. And obviously, the first 3 episodes were crap. I liked the mummy on Orient Express. I thought that actually made him the Doctor. But so with this guy, I just didn't like him. There was nothing nice about him at all. He was really rude.
Honestly, he really just didn't get an opportunity.
It's not his fault either. It's not Colin's fault either. It's the writing.
No. But on the upside, he gave us Nicola. So
yeah, but we got her with Peter, didn't we? We got her with Peter Davis.
Yeah, but we got
for a story
and it's with Colin. So about it. Oh, so this is who I think was originally supposed to be the 15th Doctor, Fadi El Sayed, right? That he was heavily wounded. So what was it about it that first attracted me for the role? Oh, I can't quite put my finger on it.
I bet you can.
If I get the role, you can put that finger in any way you want. Ooh, just imagine.
What nationality is this fella?
Also English, also Middle Eastern.
British.
I don't know, but yeah. So this is a guy, and I believe he's straight, right? I'm not sure, but he was very, very heavily tipped. So what I think happened is that they didn't have an idea what Shooty was going to do when he walked in the room. I still don't really have a good conception of it either. I'm starting to get an idea now, but I'm not that strong, right? And he says, and he just blew everybody out of the water with his performance, right? It sounded like a genuine story. Granted, he's a writer. He might be lying. I'm not going to argue about that. Yes, he might be, but it sounded like a realistic story to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether I believe it or not. But if it's true, it's true. But
we're gonna find out if it's shit or not.
We'll find out.
There's no way you're gonna hide it. Also, something you can't hide is Whoopi Goldberg is a dumb cunt.
She wanted to be the Doctor, did she not? At one point.
Yes, she did. Whoopi's way.
But she's back again, saying the same thing. She's back saying the same thing about
yes,
white and white crime again.
If it ain't all about black people, it ain't racist. Honey child, and then she got suspended for 2 weeks. Who gives a shit? What were they
surely it should be sackable by now.
No, they can't sack her because then they'll accuse everybody as racism because she's black, isn't it? So yeah,
there's no accountability. So this is where we have to. February 4th, there's a awesome interview with Matt Stevens in Doctor Who magazine, which I painstakingly ripped the piss out of. I'm so proud of Ethic Fifth, making Jodie Whittaker and Doctor Who. And of course, we have this wonderful line from Tom Baker. The very powerful and the very stupid have the one thing in common. Instead of altering the views to fit the facts, they alter the facts to fit the views. Yes, indeed. Yes. Good picture of Tom there. So then, 2 days later, a bombshell is uncovered in the new Doctor Who magazine. That the real ratings were a lot worse than they made out. There's a site called the Live Figure, which are people who watched it as it went out. They were doing the overnight figure. The overnight figure you get to add on people from iPlayer, right? The live player was so low; it was like 1.3 million. Like that people actually sat down to watch it live. It was.
Wasn't it 2 million?
Yeah,
no, I think that was it.
What?
It was 2 million. But the thing is,
I think it was 2 million.
Yeah. The thing is, the show was rubbish. It was. Chibnall didn't know what he was doing at all, and to make matters worse, she couldn't capture the Doctor's persona at all, and she refused
and she didn't
to.
Get any direction either.
No, she wasn't. And you know what, right? I know people that worked on the last series, and I was told that she was really fed up. She was questioning every line that she was saying. She was questioning the story and stuff like that. So I got the feeling she knew, that it wasn't going to be. This is not going to be held as. Yeah, it's not going to be held as something great in the future. But then saying that, when I was at Comic-Con, and she was on, sounded like she was the happiest person in the world. So maybe she is a great actress. Who knows?
Yeah, there you go.
Well, she gets paid the same amount of money as Peter Capaldi for doing less work than doing a shittier job. I mean, I'd be pretty happy, wouldn't you?
I wish I could be paid the same amount as Peter Capaldi for doing less work and a shittier job. I could so meet those bars, right? I can meet those deliverables. I could do a shitty job.
Her problem is that she saw it as a silly little kids show. That's all she saw it as.
Yes.
And it showed.
But now she knows it's worth more than that, because as I said, when I was at Comic-Con, she was lapping it all up, and there were loads of people that were cheering for her and stuff like that. So
yeah, all her fans were there. All of them.
Yeah, maybe.
All 12. Anyway, way back in February 11th, right? We had the first trailer for the Orville. Little did we know,
I haven't seen it.
I
haven't seen it.
It jumped the shark.
The weakest series of.
Okay.
Oh, it was awful. Definitely. They did a Orange Man bad episode. They did like every current day piece of bullshit is crammed in those 10 pieces of shit episodes.
Sold out.
Were they picked up by Hulu, weren't they? Was it Hulu? Hulu or Hulu?
Yeah, but I don't think they haven't got a full season yet. Thank God.
Yeah,
Please,
Disney, basically.
Yeah, please, Disney, don't give us another one. But when the good Lord taketh, he also giveth. This was very good. The Third Doctor Adventures the Annihilator. So it's got Tim Treloar playing the Third Doctor. I think he does an excellent job.
Yeah, he's great.
Michael Troughton and Fraser Hines pops up. So this feels like if an older second Doctor and Jamie turn up in a season 7 story. It's very weird, but it does feel that way. So strong recommend over there. Meanwhile, the times are changing. The sands are shifting. Thank God. This is a great thumbnail. I forgot. I didn't notice I had Jonah's face there. Exists. As Russell T. Davies becomes their new love, Chufidora. Take a long look, baby. If you got it, flaunt it. Yes, and that's been Russell ever since, mate.
What's next?
Yeah, listen, it's been a fun little time in fandom.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It's like wading through concrete, isn't it, Rabbi?
Exactly.
Do you get paid for being so miserable?
I'm not miserable.
Oh my God!
I'm not miserable. You're too overjoyed. You're too overjoyful. You don't even know what you're joyful about either. You just don't know. You're just hoping it's going to be good.
Dude, I'm totally joyful. I know I am as well. Okay, now, I will say this at the beginning of the stream before you came on. There are the reason why I'm optimistic is I find there are more reasons to be optimistic than there to be pessimistic. Now, does that mean there are no reasons to be pessimistic? No, of course not. They exist as well, right? Both the evidence exists on both sides. I felt the evidence for I think the evidence for optimism is stronger than the evidence for pessimism, right? And that's basically the bottom line.
I disagree. Totally disagree with you.
Well,
There's too many red flags. Too many. More so than being optimistic. Definitely, as far as I'm concerned.
The only red flag I could
the only red flag. The only red flag. What about Disney?
I've seen so far.
What about BBC? Disney?
Yeah, okay, fine. That's a red flag. I agree. No. Am I arguing?
No. Okay, go on.
But what else? What else? You got Yasmin Finney and you have Disney.
What's that? Sorry. You got Euro Disney, you got BBC, you got a trans guy, you got a gay doctor, you got what else have you got? You've got Russell T.
You don't know you got a gay doctor. You don't know you got a gay doctor.
No. I'm just saying the actor. Sorry, I didn't mean.
We had a gay Dickens. Who gave a shit?
That's a lot of people gave a shit actually.
Right?
But there you go.
Gay. I know.
No, it's just look.
Gay.
I'm just like you, Rabbi. I pray that this show is going to be great. Because I want Doctor Who back, man. I really do. More so than you, I reckon.
This is what I think Russell T. Davies is actually doing. Okay, I think that there's more of a global strategy. I think he's seeing the insanity of the woke world, right? Even though he's very much aligned with it, right? He knows it's insane. He knows it's turning people off. He knows everybody hates it. He knows the quality in television and writing have all also plummeted. He knows all this. He's too smart not to know it, and he understands the medium too well not to know it. He knows it, even though he agrees with them. He knows the ill effects. I think he wants to make this as an incubator to train new talent on how to tell stories. So I think it's going to have all the woke elements that concern younger writers, right? I think it's going to have that. But I think he's going to teach them how to hammer that into a story. So you'll be seeing the difference between something like a Malcolm Hughes story, like what's the maggot one? Or is it Malcolm who did
Green Death?
Yeah. So you see, like it'll be a difference between a Green Death and a Fugitive of the Jadoon, right? Or what's that other, whatever that piece of shit C one they did? The So that's what I think he wants to do. I think he wants to make this incubator for talent that won't piss people off, that will influence people in a real genuine way, right? And also, I think he's got, even though he has this very woke worldview, I think he's got a very strong moral center. And I think that from looking at his work, right? So I think he sold himself something that would be make Disney go yay. That something that is that really works at Disney and also works in terms of his own personal worldview, but most importantly, works in terms of an entertainment. For that, because if he can do that, he's made a fortune. He's made, but it's also he's changed the world. He's done something that he very much wants to do. And I think Disney very much needs to score as well, right? You can't keep getting kicked in the balls without it hurting. And they keep getting kicked in the balls. I think they're desperate for a win. So I think this is a win-win for everyone. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not convinced, but we'll see. We'll see.
No, it's not convinced, but
I'm hoping.
That is my worldview. Current producer, now amazed they didn't kill Doctor Who forever. Meanwhile, in 2017, I just can't wait to see how everybody loves your stunning and brave reinvention of Doctor Who. That's a great thing. When you look back and see how excited they were, right? They
who's that guy in the middle?
Was that?
Who's that guy in the middle?
That's the producer, Matt Stevens.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, man, this is just.
Did he get fired?
Oh, then yes. This was back in 25th of February. Media wakes from their current day and sees the devastating remains of Star Trek and Doctor Who. Yes.
Yeah. That poor bear getting
But then
burnt.
they forget and go and make more. This week we thought we'll do some stunning and brave women cry in space. Crying. God, it was.
And the McDonald's uniforms.
So this is when, this is when the this rumor broke. The 28th of February. Do you remember how huge this was?
No, I was so excited when I heard that he might be the Doctor, because I literally think he would have brought everyone back, Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
Everyone that came back from America to the US to all the lower end countries in the world. But again, of course they won't do that, because things that make sense, they don't do. So there you go. And now what we got is what we got, isn't it? So there you go.
I think David Tennant's going to do pretty darn good.
Well, here's hoping,
3
right?
episodes.
3 episodes.
I think we can get 4 superb episodes this year, right? That's my hope and my next year, I should say.
Even if he did one season, if Hugh Grant did one season, I'd tune in every freaking week to see Hugh Grant. Seriously, he would have been amazing as the Doctor.
The story wasn't real. The story wasn't true.
I know it wasn't. It's a shame.
There was nothing about this that was correct. Cuts of splintered doctors in a series of 5 specials. 20.
I know.
That whole rumor was total bollocks.
I know.
Right? Total bollocks.
It's a shame.
Speaking of total bollocks, Picard came back for a second season. God!
Still not watched the first season, so not interested.
Okay,
at all.
so it was good for one episode. The first episode felt like Star Trek.
Yeah, he's so old. He's so old, and it's ridiculous. He should,
you can tell he's old. His eyes are disappearing into buttonholes.
Yeah,
right.
So
and he's like, "I'm so sorry," all the way through it. It's awful. It's awful. Also, I know what to call this awful, right? But this was very annoying, right? So this was the remake of the Space 99 episode Earthbound, where they're trying to get back to where somebody wants to get back to Earth. It turns out they wanted to do a Brexit analogy on it. That is so on the nose. You have Commissioner Simmons forces an election to do the impossible and find a way back to Earth. And he cheats and wins the election, and they use up all the resources doing it, and they nearly all get killed. And then they give up the impossible. So
isn't Space 1999 about the moon moving away from the Earth's orbit, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So when the moon moves away from the Earth's orbit, doesn't the Earth sort of kind of almost destroy itself because it hasn't got the gravitational pull of
they
Right.
they did point that out. That
right.
was a fact. Yeah. So other than that, this was quite a good release. But one of the high points of the year happened again. Pam and Tommy. Have you ever seen this?
I haven't seen it. I heard it's really good though, but I haven't seen it.
Brilliant. It is.
It's on Disney, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't have it. I don't have it.
Brilliant. It's
Screams Disney, doesn't it?
Yeah, it all goes back to bloody Disney, but it's very, very, very good, right? I genuinely like this a lot.
Cool.
Now we're in March, thank God.
God's sake.
They're giving a bit of
It's like her nose has gone straight into her eye there, isn't it? Her nose.
It's like poking her eye out.
Yeah.
Poking her eye out.
Nothing says sexy like that, does it? Doctor Who
Terrible
speaks a wolf that dare not speak its name. Jodie Whittaker and Mandit Gill, in-depth interview. Yes, you go deep inside Jodie Whittaker.
Oh, no.
Next.
Oh, God.
Oh,
and this was the only thing about Strange New Worlds that sucked. This is one thing. They recast Kirk as this twink.
Totally miscast.
Work.
Totally miscast.
Hang on. I just lost my mouse. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So that did not work at all. Speaking of things not working at all, February 18th.
Rabbi, have you seen? There's a YouTube channel. They did a re-edit and redub of the Obi-Wan series. It's called Larry Kenobi. It's really, really good.
Oh,
well worth.
I've got to check that out.
Really funny.
I've
really
got
funny.
to check that out. But this series was awful. It was awful.
We're from Cool
It
World.
was it's the Princess Leia, baby Princess Leia Chronicle. Did you watch it?
No. I watched Larry. That was funny enough. That was good enough.
Yeah. That I imagined to be good. This was it was cucked awful Obi-Wan Kenobi. Then they quite controversially recast the First Doctor, and I dissed it. And he got in touch with me, and he said, let me fight my corner. And I was very impressed with that, and I actually do quite like what he's doing with it.
I still think I have heard it. I think I said to him, he was actually in the chat at the time when I was giving my critique, saying he just blasts angry at 1 minute and then cold the next, and it was just really jarring. And I still think Big Finish are missing a trick by not casting Sean Hughes. Sean Hughes, I'm working on a First Doctor audio with Dodo, funnily enough. And the First Doctor is played by this guy called Sean Hughes. Mwah, chef's kiss. Sounds exactly like him.
I will go check him out.
Sorry, Noonan, but Sean Hughes is the man. I think he knows.
Okay. I know what it is earlier. Meanwhile, Hugh Grant's back being the Doctor again, or Danny Dyer.
Oh, God.
Wait till they hear J.K. Rowling is writing an episode. Yeah, this is where they were melting down. Right? They were melting down because of... No! Right. It was like, too white, too male, too white, too male.
That's what happened.
Yeah. It was
every day.
Watching their meltdown was quite glorious. Also, somewhat glorious, this movie. Did you watch this on Netflix? Adam,
I liked it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
I really liked it. Yeah.
Uncomplicated fun, but made by charismatic people.
Yeah, it was a throwaway thing, but it was quite fun.
Yeah. I wonder if Rusty Davis would invite J.K. Rowling to write a story now. Says
it was this first time Ruffalo got together with I can't remember the girl's name because they were in 13 going on 30, weren't they? That was the last time they worked with each other. So
Garner.
Yeah.
Right. Mandit or Mandit. The new in-depth interview that takes us deep inside the mind of this stunning array companion.
I don't think there's much depth in the first place, quite honestly, but fair enough.
Well, she's saying, I keep trying to think, but nothing happens.
You know what,
then,
right? We'll find out if she's a good actress because she's doing this play, and I think she's gone to America now to do something. So we'll find out whether she's a good actress, yeah, or not.
No, she wasn't. She like again, Mandip Gill's destiny in life, where she should have been in life, is the makeup girl in Boots the Chemist. Right? That's what she's
no, that's so racist. It's terrible.
Hollyoaks.
How's that racist? It was normally a blonde chick when I was a kid. That's not racist. But and she suddenly found herself in like acting, and she doesn't know what she was doing. Did you hear the story that Bradley Walsh used to walk off and make a cup of tea all the time? Yeah, because she couldn't get the bloody she couldn't do the job. Man. Meanwhile, by the 25th, the terror of Hugh Grant had come and gone. Charting the toxic fan and media reaction around the Hugh Grant Doctor Who rumor. Just because everybody was super excited about this rumor and gutted it wasn't Will, it doesn't mean Jodie failed.
Well, do you know what? Seriously, I was hoping the rumor would be true, but it wasn't. So there you go. Listen, I've got to go because I've got to go on bloody Dan's channel. I've completely forgot. I've got to go on Dan's channel.
He's got a show on now.
Yeah, he's gonna do we're gonna do a review of the trailer, I think. So I've got to head off, guys. Right, but it's been a pleasure.
Total Pip. We'll keep reviewing the year.
Okay. All right, guys.
Tell Dan I'll say hi.
Yeah, I will. You guys have fun, all right? Okay.
See you later.
All right,
bye. Fine. So next thing we're up to, where was it? Now I lost my mouse again. Where's my mouse gone?
She said.
She cried. Oh, have I not charged it? Oh, there it is. Hang on. Doink. There you go. So then, God.
Oh, no.
So bad
decision. Ridiculous. I mean, it was really, really starting to go into this whole other thing. So when they cancelled V, the reimagined series in season 2, and it's just as the invasion was about to happen. This felt like that to me.
Yeah. I actually feel the same way about Westworld being cancelled. Like, I've done a real deep dive into it again. It's so worth watching. Right? I tried to see the last season. I just couldn't do it. Last season I thought was one of the best. I love that.
I couldn't do it. No.
Five. So we're up to was it don't very much April. But this was still persisting. This went on for a couple of months. What do you think about a new Doctor? So was that?
That's crazy. I can't remember it going on that long, but it's amazing how time sort of distorts, doesn't it? As you think about it. But yeah, weird ideas.
Can I put my clothes back on, Russell? No. So did this happen? This sounds like a rumor that Murray Gold returned. Did he? I can't remember. I don't think so.
Well, what was the music in the trailer?
That's what I wanted to know as well. I don't know.
Don't know.
Fine. So then we're in April, coming up to Legend of the Sea Devil, a hastily made mess by inexperienced and incompetent. Yes, that's what it turned out to be. Take my advice. What's the chase on the other side?
Such a waste of this. I mean, I guess they probably had them left over from, weren't they supposed to be in Awful 55, whatever it was?
No. They made them for this episode, but they just made them. They had to do them quick and cheap. And they look quick and cheap, right? This is what got me my channel banned for 2 weeks. It was the next thing. Jodie Whittaker's big queer Doctor Who audio venture created 4 kids to validate depressed, confused, and disproportionately suicidal adults. Yes, this is what got me banned. This very thing. Come on, children. These are brave women. They're totally normal. What's that?
I said, telling the truth often does that, I find.
Yes. Even you got a little ban again on your researched Twitter.
I did. Yeah, for criticizing the SNP. Really?
Yeah, okay. You don't want to mess with the big boy, Sonny.
No, you don't mess with the National Socialist Party of Scotland. No, you don't.
They keep pushing for that referendum. Ekki Thorpe set sail for 1,000-minute epically low ratings. Boy, did I call that correctly, right?
You did.
Yeah. Oh man, that was and then didn't fare well on the ratings, unsurprisingly. And we had an even worse after. I love I got Captain Pugwash in there. Worst rated ever. Oh, this is a great thumbnail, if I may say so.
It's fabulous, darling. Fabulous.
Yes. It did lead rise to a lot of good thumbnails. Then we had in May, Chris Chibnall's weird and desperate need to tie his Doctor Who to the rest of the canon after destroying it. This show has always been about the Doctor wanting to have lesbian sex with companions. Just look at Tegan and Ace. Well, we did, actually.
And it wasn't there.
The media begs Lydia West to be the Doctor. Noel Clarke strikes back, yes. And it's been continuing to strike back.
Yes.
There we have another success of the year. I quite like this. The Doctor Unbound. These were bonkers and made no sense, and they're a lot of fun, right? But they were.
I tried. I listened to it. It is very strange. It is. I found it quite confusing because it's such a quite visual story, I think, and it just doesn't translate so well.
Yeah,
in audio,
yeah. You do have to pay attention for it.
And I just didn't like the way Tom Baker was dispensed with like that. No,
I thought that was quite good. I thought that would work. This was a real success of the year, right? Star Trek Motion Picture 4K. Oh, this is
my favorite Star Trek film, and I don't care. I'm not going to apologize for it. That's my favorite.
Why don't they do more in this Star Trek universe, which is clearly different from the other ones? And they were doing like much harder contemplative sci-fi. That's what they should do. It
is more cerebral. Okay, it was sort of
right.
Original Star Trek episode. It was sort of taking inspiration from. It's the one with the
Changeling.
The Changeling, yeah.
Right.
So I think I like that. I like that. Rifle through some of the old classic episodes, turn it into a movie.
This was vastly superior. Then we had. Do I need to charge my mouse? That's what's going on? Hang on. Come on. I have to. I think I do. I think I charge. Do I have another mouse I can use? 1 second. Because that's going to be quite important.
I hate that you have to turn it upside down to plug the thing in, and you can't use it.
Yeah. Okay, fine. I got I got this. Let me work on it. This was garbage. Oh God, this was agony. Okay, watch Batman Begins at half speed with the lights turned down, right? And for some reason, Commissioner Gordon was black. I didn't mind Black Perry White. This one was just, and I think Jeffrey Wright's a great actor. I just think he was hired because he was black. But I don't think he was hired just because he's black. Is Shooty Gatwa. Shooty Gatwa is no, really this time. Reliving the best of Jodie Whittaker. It takes you away. That was awful. So then we're all very excited about shoot.
Love that.
Let's see if I get my mouse working again. It says it's connected. That's good. That's good. Okay, so it says it's charged. Fine, yeah. So with that, Q, we're very happy. She's gone. The media melts down over Shooting, as we did. Yes, we saw a lot of his chest, right?
All I can say is thank God the costume doesn't reveal. Although I still think that woman's jumper, the tangerine jumper, is going to ride up because it's so high cut.
I think it's designed to do that. Now,
I know
the pants and the jacket are also women's clothes. But somebody commented that they buttoned the wrong way for that to be the case. I don't know.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I'd have to look. Usually,
I don't know how, but this feels sexist. We ask, is it reboot or regeneration? It's total regeneration, baby. I thought it'd be a reboot. And then we get this news as well. You can expect these sort of awesome announcements all the time when I'm showrunner. Yes, and that's basically what's happened. But where else, Doctor? Of course you are, darling. Who are you again? So this
Don't
was
remind us.
16th of May, and things were just going huge. And then they shuffled in Yasmin Finney after they told us all the other good news. I think it's okay.
Well, remains to be seen.
I guess we'll find out. By May 22nd, I was amazed. Star Trek Strange New Worlds was actually quite watchable, right?
I enjoyed it.
It was pretty good. Pretty darn good. Good show.
They fixed Spock from his horrible introduction in Dick Savory. So that was something.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't crying. That was good. Or singing.
I like that whole Spock to Pole thing. I hated Baby Princess Leia. I hated Reva. I hated everything about this. This was awful, right? This was one of the low spots of the year. One of the high spots, though, was Apple TV Severance. Love this. This was fantastic. Great. Have you seen this?
I have, and I really, really want to see season 2. I think this is a fantastic.
Yeah, me too.
Series. Very good. Kept you guessing all the way through.
Of course. We're in June now. The old guard was failing. We saw things were looking bad. By Odin's beard, this has aged badly and it hasn't even been released yet. Yes, that wasn't good. Noel Clark survives toxic cancel culture. Still in June. It's been that long. I had no idea.
Well, there you are. Time Distort. Time Distort 10. Yeah.
It's been 6 months. Who knew?
Wow.
Also 6 months since the Orville tanked. Oh, God. Sandman trailer reaction. I quite like that apart from Black Death. Have you seen this?
I have. I never want to watch it again.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'll watch it if it's on. I kind of like the one with the cats. I thought that was good. But generally speaking, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. The messaging in that was a bit strong as well. I mean, it's just such a betrayal of his own work. But, he's the writer. You made that decision. I just find it really hypocritical when he says that Batman isn't Batman if he's wearing a yellow trench coat and all this kind of stuff. And then he goes and does the same thing to his own work. And it's like all the fans I've been waiting 30 odd years for this.
Yeah, me too. So this is what's going on with Neil Gaiman. He was in an open marriage, right? And no man wants his woman sleeping with another guy, even if he gets to sleep with him. Like nobody wants that to happen. And so you've got to totally submit yourself to this bizarre ideology, right? You've got to totally, which is what he did. So he drunk the Kool-Aid. Right.
Yeah, but because he divorced his wife, and then he got himself they tried to cancel him then.
Right.
And a lot of these people, these radical people that he's trying to kiss up to, they're also raging anti-Semites too. So I just don't know who he's trying to please. Certainly nobody by the looks of it. Mostly.
I don't know. He doesn't know what he's doing. Anyway, so then June 10th we started getting location footings, filming, and we first saw about Meet the Beep. Dodie to degenerate into Tennant, sort of, right? Sort of.
She's a degeneration of everything about Doctor Who, really. So that's just a regeneration plus.
Right. So this is one of the reasons that I'm optimistic about it, because the shill media really want you to believe that Rusty Davies' new Doctor Who will be awful. This is totally what the new Doctor Who will be like. I should send this to Mega Geek.
You could be onto a point. They probably want it to fail. So JD was better, and it's like
exactly.
Maybe.
So this was good. This is when these box sets started turning around, and I'm glad I pre-ordered it. and I'm glad I stuck with it. So yeah, this was good. This was awful. Oh no, I thought we got it. Is the Doctor exclusively LGBTQ plus show? Well, in June, it was Pride Month. It kind of felt like it was, right? It kind of felt like it was. We got the Toy Maker news, World of Wonder. I mean, more Toy Maker and some gratuitous Nicola Bryant. I'll admit it. The reason I took part was to be on one of the Rabbi thumbnails. Oh, we all love that. Well,
your critics love these thumbnails, don't they? They absolutely they can't wait to type off an angry tweet at you over them.
I know.
They're sexualizing people. Well, how do you know what sexualizing people is when you've never been sexualized in your entire life?
Exactly. Listen, this is normative heterosexuality. It's fine. I'm not raping anybody. Okay, that's not happening.
Rabbi read News of the World for a long time.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I
said Rabbi read the News of the World for a long time.
I did indeed. Those pages got stuck together. Grant Morrison outlined his plans for taking over Doctor Who in the 90s, which would have been somewhat interesting. So then the rumor was that Colin Baker, Peter Davison, Sylvester McCoy to appear in Jodie Swan song. Those rumors proved correct and more. This Blu-ray came out, which was wonderful. And finally, by the end of this month, Orville jumped the shark. And it was
such a shame.
Absolutely awful. We're up to July 1st, and we had a bit of a winner. This was one of the standouts of Big Finish this year. One of the standouts for David Tennant as well. This one really worked. So the Master. Oh God, that's better. So the Master was in this like ethereal realm of like super hyper dimensional, and the Derek Jacobi Master is awesome, right? He is so good. He's so the Master, right? He's distinct from Delgado, but definitely the same Time Lord, right? But it's got that authoritativeness and intelligence. I love his Master. So it's he's defending his life, and he's doing it beautifully. So because he's basically on trial for being immoral, and he's like no, and he has this incredible defense. And at one point, he needs to call the Doctor as a witness, and the Doctor they bring forth as the 10th Doctor. And the interplay is very good. Really, that really worked very well. So this was a winner, right? This was a winner. And there weren't many in 2022, right? Most, I think, were pretty darn bland. But in July, we came back from our hiatus. I think we're waiting for the clocks to change to continue. Fans in Faith. I do love Fans in Faith. It's one of my favorite little streams with Father Miller. The crossover that had to happen. We look at Nerdum news from the theological minded. Yeah, that's essentially what it was. It's great. So I do hope Father Miller will be available again when the clocks change again. We can do Fridays. I think Sundays may be his busy day. I'm not sure. But yeah, no, I do love Fans in Faith. So I wanted to add that thumbnail in as this was from also from July 1st. Look at that. It was it must have been a Friday. Then Saturday we had this one. The weird desperation where Yasmin Finify Shooter's gut was companion in the new Doctor Who. Okay. It only just started. Oh my God. This was the implosion, right? Starting, right? This was the implosion that led up to the complete running around with your head on fire insanity that we have right now. I mean, it's again, man. Do I have that thumb? Let me find that thumb. This one's for tomorrow, right? This is where it started, and let me show you where it's going. Right, and this is really where it started. I might go over here. So it's this one, but I have to go here. And where am I? Doink. It was. Yeah, this is it. This is it. This is tomorrow's video at 2 p.m. UK time. This article, this is really where it gets to, right? Where they're screaming is like, no, my ideology is real. It's real. No. They are having a theological meltdown. Their own failure is doing their head in, poor dears. And that, honestly, it's 6 months. Look at this. 6 months of a meltdown. But this is where it really started to kick in. Oh, God. Oh, this desperation for bullshit that doesn't matter to matter. Like, for there to be oppression where there is none. It's pathetic. It is truly pathetic. This Theta Sigma, I think, is the YouTube channel. The TARDIS in the background, freaking gorgeous. Oh my God, look at that! That is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, oh man, that is good. Right, yeah. Have you ever made the father bring up the shame? Yes, church lady, shame. Yes, I have been. I'm on my best behavior, and I do mess up often. And that's really, I'm on my super duper bestest behavior. I'm not even trying. Yes, that's so true. So yeah, there was also like, no, Yasmin Finney is because it's all about no, it's a very hot woman with a vagina. I mean, I think in my fan fiction, she certainly has a vagina. Okay, that's happening. But yeah, this is where it would just go on for, oh God. Mate, and I don't know if this is mental illness or not. I don't know. I'm not saying it is. I'm willing to be wrong. I am willing to be wrong. I think it might be. Right? I think it might be. Right, like in my other review video, I talked a bit about the Umbrella Academy and how I skipped it because I just don't want to see Elliot Page. Who there is a BS rumor is in line to be cast as Superman by James Gunn. If that's the case, I am out. I am so super out. Right? Leave me alone. That can't be. But that's why I was out of Umbrella Academy. I'm like, I think this might be your mental illness. I mean, at least you're not like physically butchering yourself. Like Elliot Page may have done. But like, whew, I don't know. But I'm sure you're a lovely person. I'm not denying your existence. Yeah, you're absolutely real, right? Absolutely. I'm just saying I don't know if your premises of your worldview are correct, right? And that's really it. In the same way, you don't know the premises of my worldview are correct, right? We disagree on things. It's fine, and yet we can coexist happily. Well, at least we should be able to, right? We used to be able to. So there you go. Anyway, you have. So yeah, that was from the 2nd. We're only up to the 2nd of July. This thing takes a while. Also on the 2nd of July, we did a walkthrough on this awesome Worlds of Wonder exhibition. This looks fantastic, right? And this is all part of the reviving, regenerating brand of Doctor Who. Right, it's getting its mojo back, right? And it's okay if they put a Jodie prop in. The normies won't realize anyway, right? It's fine. Everything's for the normies. But this thing, I think it has just moved to Edinburgh. It was in Manchester or Liverpool, and I think it's moved to Edinburgh. And I might be wrong about all those locations, right? So I might be wrong about everything. So something that almost always works out badly for me is this, right? Is the going into things with open minds, right? Because I'm always proved that it was pointless. Things are always were as bad or worse than you ever expect they're going to be, right? But I'm very glad I went into this one with an open mind because it completely changed my evaluation of the show, and I'm doing a major rewatch of it, and I'm now of the opinion it's probably one of the all-time greatest television science fiction shows. Right, it's up there with what's it called again? Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, the reboot Battlestar Galactica. It is one of the all-time greatest sci-fi shows. More intelligent than you believe. It's all about what it is to be sentient and the birth of a new species and what that means for humanity, right? And told out in this wonderfully macabre, interesting story. There's just incredible world building with a top-notch cast. Now, everybody says season 2 was super duper woke, right? I just did a rewatch of season 2. It wasn't. I'm sorry. It wasn't. Every choice was organic for that character, right? They said they cut Teddy. I'm like, no. That was the wonderful point about Teddy, right? Teddy, when you take these robots, okay, it's about these robots these super advanced robots that are in a theme park that lived on these loops of behavior, right? They had these stories, these rotating stories that would just keep doing over and over again. And the idea was humanity, we also live on our loops, right? We live on these like ever rotating routes. We get up, we go to work, we do this, we have routines. Right, the same thing. Now, you're able to improvise these robots, and they're able to like come up with things like when you move them out of their loop, right? And it's about them becoming self-aware. So Teddy was a gunslinger, right? His basic job was to be murdered so his girlfriend could be raped, right? It was Evan Rachel Wood, right? But he was like this like heart of gold gunslinger with a dark past. That was Teddy. Right, so when he was given sentience and self-awareness and freedom, they're in the middle of fighting this war with humanity. There's many, and they wanted to alter him to get rid of his conscience so he could be a more effective warrior, right? So they changed him, right? But then he ended up killing himself. He chose death, and that was his only option for self-actualization. And that's what this show was all about: the development of self-actualization and what that means. Again, what it means for having competing species in the same world. That's really what season 4 is about, right? And it's got Tandy Newton in it. And they keep saying that, like, oh, let's have a black female James Bond. No, never have a black female James Bond, right? Never do that, right? But if you want to have a black female spy, Tandy Newton is insanely good in this, right? One of my favorite characters of all time. I absolutely, and she's built that character. Outstanding work, really, absolutely outstanding. So it was this series that really made me go back and reevaluate it. And boy, is it so much better than you know, right? It is so much better than you know, right? Did you see the clip of Margaret Thatcher covering that horrible British Airways tailplane logo with a hanky? No, what was it? What I do with anything with Jodie with it in an exhibition? Yes. That's so Margaret Thatcher. I used to like Margaret Thatcher. I'm sorry. I think she was like fun, frankly. Look, I was a fan of the original Battlestar Galactica as well, but man, it's not the same. I like one is like a real. I think it was one of the most poignant meditations on 9/11. What 9/11 meant to a society, right? Dude, I was around when Thatcher was around. It was was good. Yeah, it was really it was a good time, mate. Margaret Thatcher, the milk snatcher. Yeah, I drink your milkshake. Anyway, yeah, the all good. So so this started. This was July 3rd. Man, this was the greatest discovery of the year for me. Yeah, by a long chalk. It was very good, very good. Meanwhile, fandom divided. The top 10 most polarizing moments of Doctor Who. The Orville goes full groomer. Yeah, it did. You sick fucks. Absolutely did. Frothing, ranting review. Yeah, I hated it. Thor: Love and Thunder described as the gayest Marvel movie yet. Well, how'd that work out for you, stupid cunts? Did that work out well for you? Yeah, great, marvelous. Yeah, exactly. No one's happy now, are they? Right now, you got some smug scriptwriter, and that's it. No one's happy. No one's happy. Hey, kids, give chemical castration a chemical castration a chance. You don't want to be a bigot, do you? Icky thump. All we ever want to do is scissor in the TARDIS. Yes. I do like that they have both body type and lingerie appropriate, character appropriate, right? I am impressed myself. Yeah. How sad. Man, the Orville completely lost it. Like, completely lost it. Anyway, by the 6th, this was going crazy. The mainstream fan media's inability to let go of the Felcham era. Don't look at them! Jodie is the best that will be remembered fondly. She really won't, you know. You know, I have that, I do that gag so often. And man, my Meet the Beep doesn't look as good as the real Meet the Beep. Blimey. Wow, I didn't expect that. Their Meet the Beep actually looks better than mine. Okay, yeah. Well, I guess they got some money put into it, right? Look, you know, again, this death cry, and that's what it is. When you see the year laid out on cards like this continuous death cry of the Jodie fan. It's not about the Jodie Whittaker stories. It's about the failure of their worldview, right? It's about the failure of worldview, and we're seeing now a little bit about their addiction to outrage, right? Being outraged about being called David Tennant, the skinny man. Will you stop being such a pansy, right? As the best I can explain to you is just stop being such insane pansies. Oh my God, really? Like what do you think you're getting for being such a pansy? Right? I don't know. But yeah. This was the headache of the year. Their death cry, right? The death knell. This was like the Gallifreyan version of nails on a chalkboard. And never ended. Thankfully, I found a respite in this. Beyond the War Games, freaking excellent. Oh my God. Absolutely excellent. I'll give this a re-listen any day. Good stories, well written, good script, good acting. Everything about this really totally super duper works, right? You got was it Michael Troughton? Yeah, Michael Troughton playing the second Doctor. So imagine that there's an alternate reality where the Patrick Troughton goes into color instead of going with a John Pertwee season. You go into a 1970s color Patrick Troughton season, and he wakes up and he's after being regenerated, right? And he's on this weird planet. He can't work out where he is. He's in color, and it feels like he's in color. And it turns out he's on the remains of Skaro after the Dalek, not the War Games, the evil of the Daleks, right? So he's in the aftermath of it, and he's basically finding his way. He's become somewhat of a tool of this shadowy organization from Gallifrey, leading up to his appearance in the Two Doctors, with the Second Doctor in the Two Doctors. I do hope they explain why Jamie was trying to hump Perry. I mean, other than who doesn't want to hump Perry, but you normally start with a bit of chat first before you just jump down and grunt. Listen, I don't know. Maybe that's the Highland way. I don't know. They call it the Highland fling. Oh, up your bum. What? Really? No. That was just no officer. Meanwhile, other than Jim, instead of trying to model their Captain Kirk on William Shatner, they modeled him on Jim Carrey. Other than that, this was fucking awesome. Oh, it's awesome. Everything about this was fantastic, right? I hope they don't do this often, but it really super duper 100% worked. I'm Captain Kirk. I know I look a bit like a Jim Carrey impersonation of from In Living Color, but other than that, this is a great season finale and an unexpectedly awesome first season. Yes. Right, I mean, it really is. I like the everything about this show, the aesthetic. The only thing I don't like is Lieutenant Lesbian Latinx, or is it Lieutenant Latinx Lesbian? I think it's Lieutenant Lesbian Latinx, right? I don't like Lieutenant Lesbian Latinx, right? No, get rid of her. Other than that, A+, right? I think it's really, really good. I like the story up. So I'm bummed out they killed off the chief engineer because he was one of my favorite characters. And I'm worried they're replacing him with Carol Kane. Seems a bit weird. Like, really? Can we have blokes in it again, please? Can we get some more men, please? Thank you. But in general, this was a great season finale. Replaying and reimagining, was it Errand of Mercy? What was that classic episode? I think it was Errand of, I can't remember. Of Star Trek, where the essentially, if Pike was in charge of the Enterprise, there would have been endless war with the Romulans, right? So that's basically how this season ended up, and so they recreated it. And I mean, other than the guy playing Kirk, right? Why couldn't you get Vic Montagna in, right? Like, no, other than that, everything about this worked. I just don't understand. I mean, I guess I do. They screwed up. Bottom line. They screwed up. Bottom line. You know what? The problem is this. The problem is they are commoners, right? They're commoners. They don't have the gentry to advise them. These are but serfs of men, right? These are left to their own devices, they'll end up gnawing on their own feces. These are dung suckers. They need the gentry. They need the upper classes to guide them, and of course, the upper classes come. Their guidance comes from a regent higher power. Imbuing His Majesty himself in form of royalty. So royalty is an important thing. Let me tell you, royalty. Don't get me wrong. I like the egalitarian world of Captain Kirk, but I do like a bit of royalty. We've had a bit of a rough year for royalty. We're still having a bit of a rough year for royalty. I haven't been able to finish The Crown this season. I'm still on episode 8, I think. I'm bored. I was like, really, just push it through. That's what I said. And they really should have done that with the marriage as well. Anyway, I digress. Royalty. Thankfully, ladies and gentlemen, in this strange in-between time where it's neither here nor there. It is not Christmas. It is not New Year's. It's not up. It's not down. It's not hungover. It's not hung before. It is that weird in-between. I bring forth royalty. From, the most humble of places. Birmingham. Birmingham, of course, as King of the Geeks. It's Dan Hadley.
Hello, mate.
Going around the houses and dunk. Here you go.
And we launch. We're here. We're going. We're up. We're here. A bit of blue blood. Back on another planet. Thanks for the invite. You okay? You have a good Christmas? Well, you know what I mean. Are you enjoying yourself? Where are we? You're doing your review of the year.
I am. But so on the Friday night around Christmas, we do a big Sabbath meal every week.
Yeah.
So we do a Christmas themed one, right?
I know you
do.
The missus was doing the various things that you like from mince pies and things, isn't it? She does.
Missus do my head in. Now she's making a whole other thing this week. I was like, really? Can you just take a week off from doing stuff? Right? Like, look, if you want to fast around anybody, there's me. Right? I like being fast over. You can fast around me. That's fine, darling. You don't need to worry about the rest of the world. No. So she's making a little reception thing for Saturday morning. All right, what can you do?
And anyway, geek culture's gone a bit mad over the last 7 days, isn't it? Considering that it's supposed to have been on holiday, so you're going back through 2022.
I watched your stream earlier today about all the rumors.
Yeah,
like, there's always rumors. It's like none of them sounded different, or none of them sound worth reporting on.
Well, they're the expansion, aren't they, of things that have been. I mean, I'm convinced it comes from the fan base. And I think a lot of it probably is. I mean, the reason why I went with this lot is because there was simply so much of it. And I've never really talked about it before. I've always resisted covering it before, partly because of what you've said, because it just goes. We get it in March, then we get it in, say, June, July, and there's another sort of silly season where people get bored. It comes around again. But there's something about this. There's something about the timing of it.
Yeah, people get excited, that's all. And it's clearly coming from the fan press, going to the Nationals and backwards and forwards, feeding each other. Speaking of feeding each other, this is what we do for the Sabbath before Christmas. This was we can't take pictures of it on the Sabbath, because we don't use electronics. So you have these 2 loaves of bread normally to make. That's the first thing to do. So my wife made one loaf in the shape of the thing you light on Hanukkah, the candelabra thing. Normally they look more like that. Oh, that was very good.
That's nice. Yeah.
So that's the turkey. Turkey was good. We instead of having with roast potatoes, that's for the day. That was Chinese. We made Chinese for the day because we did American Christmas for lunch. That's latkes. They're potato pancakes. A Jewishy thing for Hanukkah. But my wife makes her own mince pies. Glorious, absolutely glorious.
Yeah. You've told me about these the last couple of years that I've known you. You keep talking about these mince pies. They do look beautiful.
Pies. That was a roast. That was like butter. That was insane. We had crazy amounts of donuts. These ended up getting cream put on them, and they were chocolate mint, I believe. That's the Chinese for the day. That's the roast. Oh yeah, here we are. That's us lighting our Hanukkah candelabra thingies for Hanukkah. But here, I think the most impressive thing was over here. We had a ton of people. Most impressive thing is I make Christmas crackers that you can use on Sabbath. That like you're not allowed to pull them apart and go bang on Sabbath. Okay. So they don't go bang. You have to go bang yourself. So there you go. That was my.
It looks fabulous. I'm glad you had a good time. Yeah. Mine was. I've got some pictures of mine, but I suppose I ought to show people, haven't I? But they're all my kids, my mother, and various other people all together. We had a good time. Yeah.
What's it? Rusty Davis shared a picture of his Christmas. Let's see if I can pull that up.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it's strange.
He's very good on the whole Instagram thing, isn't he? He knows what he's doing with marketing in general. Like, who would have thought such an incredible writer would be such an incredible marketer, right?
Yeah, and he's pretty fearless as well about us knowing who he is. Knowing about his life within reason, about what matters to him, the fact that we matter to him. I genuinely believe that the fans matter to this man.
I think so too. I think that's why there was a trade on Christmas, right? I think there was no need for it at all, and I think that's why there was.
Good point.
There you go. Russell at Christmas.
He looks like the big. There are actual minors in that picture, but the biggest kid is absolutely the guy at the back with both arms in the air. I think it's so
right, and they're just having glorious fun, right? It's See, this is why I love Christmas, right? This is such a unifying thing. You just get together, have a fun meal, and it's fun. And it's not a Christian thing. It's not a Muslim thing. No. It's just an English thing. It's very nice.
I think so too. Yeah.
I don't think Russell went to mass. Okay, I don't think that happened. And not to take Christians away from Christmas, right? But I'm saying in England it's a bit more universal. Anyway, we're going through the year. So far, we're up to July 18th. Right.
Yeah, how's it going so far? You're not flagging yet because it's been a rough year, mate. It's been a rough year.
Oh man, it's been a year of relentless. Well, yeah. Now I've got to pull up something else here. So this is what's coming up over the next couple of days. Yeah.
I just saw your pick there of Strange New Worlds, and a few days ago I saw that Strange New Worlds was due out on Blu-ray, and I felt a physical sort of jerk of excitement as I realised, I've got to pre-order that, and I haven't felt that feeling about Star Trek in a long, long time.
I'll get about the second season before I buy it. So yeah, this is where all those articles ended up. This complete ongoing meltdown. We're watching the slow death of toxic fandom. Anyway, my point was this. Yes. When you start doing an overview of the year, the macro, you start to really see what's going on. So what I'm doing on Saturday night, right? Saturday night, I think about 7. This is going out. So it's over an hour. It's about an hour and 15 minutes long. And this goes over all the SFX, Doctor Who magazine, and the SFX and Doctor Who magazine covers. For the first 6 months of the year. It took me
that's a great
forever.
Idea. Yeah.
Yeah, but you do, it's like girl boss, fail, girl boss, forgotten, fail,
Groundhog
over and
Day.
over again. It really is. So the first half of this, but then I did the second half, and I knew I had to do it within a 15-minute increment, right? So then if I start a premiere at 11 o'clock, it gives it a 2-hour, a 2-minute intro. And then at exactly 1 minute to 11, you get a countdown. What do you get a countdown to? The second half of the show ends up with Countdown 2023, Rabbi from another planet, Balcony!
Yes!
Wait the biz! As the sands of time run out for 2022. Farquhar 2022, never come back. I mean, I'm sure no one's going, this was the year. Oh, yeah.
It's been pretty bad.
It's not been good. The only good bits have been of original things, I think, were Peacemaker right at the beginning and House of the Dragon. There's been nothing else, right? Every film has been a dud.
It's just struck me out, Rabbi. I haven't been to the cinema once. Oh, no, I have. I went to see the Batman. That was so bad that I haven't been back.
Exactly. That's from last year.
And I'm not exaggerating. I really, that put me off sitting in a cinema for longer than an hour. But I agree. And with this show, obviously, Rabbi, you seem to have set yourself up there as the Jewish Clive James. I think you could have something going there where you used to see.
I think that's fair. Yeah, you got half the all just going, who's Clive James? The other half's going, what's a Jew?
Well, I'd have definitely been until I met you and started doing these streams with you. I'd have probably been in the latter. I'm so ignorant about faith, so even now, unreal. But are these live or have you pre-recorded them?
No, these are pre-recorded. Why? It's 2 in the morning for me in Israel.
That's what I thought. I thought, bloody hell, he's going the extra.
I'm like, no. That's what I mean. Oh, is it Dr. Alex is there? Here, I'll invite you in.
Alex is here. Oh, great.
I will send you a link. He's been very industrious of late. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, it's. I don't know where it's going to go. Robert Meyer Burnett is still doing the hard sell on Picard season 3 for next year, but obviously this year there's been. There's some Strange New Worlds that was on, and Prodigy is just wrapped up, which I still haven't seen.
I saw a few episodes, but I didn't care enough to go back.
So, and Yasmin, Yasmin, of course.
Yasmin, yes. This is back in the dim mist of July 18th, right? How to learn every wrong lesson possible from the Fedor Chibnall Whittaker's Doctor Who. Yeah, just these articles that are completely devoid of all reality. It's so bizarre. Oh, over and over. No, Daddy didn't tell you. She did. I mean, like the more obvious it gets, the intensity gets stronger. The more obvious that she failed, right? As soon as David Tennant shows up, it goes right. It's insane. This goes on, and this is all year. Right.
Well, they dropped an article. Somebody dropped an article a few days ago, and it was over Christmas. And I thought of you as soon as I saw it. And it must have been Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, because I haven't really thought about it much since. And it was a claim that the Jodie Whittaker era and that her incarnation of the Doctor was the best ever.
A video on that.
Oh, I haven't caught that yet. I haven't
that
caught
was
much.
literally made for me. I appreciate somebody going to the trouble for that. Where is that? No.
I haven't seen much of any YouTube at all this week, so I don't know what everybody's been talking about.
That was. Do I have the thumbnail for that? Let me try and find the thumbnail.
That expression on Jodie's face, and you haven't photoshopped that either, have you? That's genuinely
no. That's real, right? Exactly. One sec. Let me try and find that thumbnail. We'll be over here. Oh, so many folders. There we go. Doink.
I saw one that you put up the other day of Shooter Gatwa in a pair of what were they? Christmassy underpants.
Oh, I do that a lot. Yes, I do that a lot. Look, the boy likes to show off his abs. God bless him. Here it is. Here, 1 second. How do we get to this now? There we go. Doink. Yeah, this was the thumbnail when I went over that article.
Oh yeah. I haven't watched this one. I will watch this. I will certainly give this one a play. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my one tomorrow is slightly more off the hinge. I was like, really? So was it? So yeah. So then we get getting reports in July 22nd about how embarrassed the BBC was with the centenary Power of the Doctor, which I think they probably were, but I think they generally had no reason to be, right? Other than Jodie Whittaker, right? I mean, like. I think it was one of the least embarrassing things they've done under the banner of Doctor Who.
I would agree, but by that point, as an intellectual property, as a brand, as an event, the series itself, it was pretty much inconsequential what aired within that 90 minutes, because it was never going to. The circus around it had an artificial, and there wasn't a great deal, don't get me wrong, there were no billboard posters and things like that.
Right.
It just felt like they were going through the motions. Oh, well, I suppose we better put a trailer out. I suppose we better give them an interview.
Right.
I'll stick them on. They'll talk to Jo Wiley on radio, whatever it is she's on now.
Right, exactly.
It felt like just tying a bow on it. In fact, not even that. It felt like people who were discharging them.
It felt like they just left it with the lid off.
Yeah, and people just discharge. When you're changing jobs and you leave one place and you make sure that your desk is sort of in order and you hand back your stapler or whatever else.
Right.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah. It was just useless. Thump. But that was our bestest ever. Our bestest, right? It was right. Start back. Darling, let the professionals work. Return to Bannerman Road. How marvelous. I think this is probably going to be a good idea for Big Finish, right?
Yeah.
Although, what was I thinking about Big Finish earlier? I can't remember.
I think that certainly putting Anjali Mahindra at the centre of a new range is a really good idea. I think that they need. I know this might seem to be a rather silly complaint, but I think with a lot of their box sets, that the titles of them are so contrived. They call that The Further Adventures of Rani After Bannerman Road. It's got this really long title, whereas I think they could honestly have gone with the Rani Adventures or something short and snappy.
The Rani Adventures would be perfect. Yes, I agree with you. I don't know. It seems to me that they don't do their box sets collections closely enough. Right, they're always like the. I think I'm out in the Ninth Doctor once. Like, unless they give me a reason to go back now, which they're not. I think I'm out of that next year. There's like they did the one
with every release. They seem every release seems less essential than the one that's gone before, and that's not a good thing.
Exactly. Yeah, the resting Jody face, says Dr. Alex. It just didn't work. But I mean, I don't know. Like next year, is it go? I still don't know if they're gonna make it. Right? Honestly, I don't know if anyone's gonna make it. They keep talking about like a financial implosion, like they haven't seen before.
Well, it looked like Eagle Moss was doing very well, and they went bump overnight. They'd got a product range that was just as large as Big Finishes, and it was considerably more international. I'd say that
Eagle Moss was a much bigger turnover.
Yeah,
much more expensive.
It's right. There's somebody in the live chat who says, "Yeah, guys, stop being perverts." Is that us or them?
I don't know. Listen, mate, this is as least perverted as I get. Right, I'm reasonably perverted. I don't know what to tell you. It's part of my brand.
Yes, we haven't mentioned boobies. We haven't mentioned boobies at all.
At all. I mean, I did show my thumbnail for New Year's Eve, so which was quite boobish. Anyway, yeah. So this is when we first started getting word of how much they hated it, which I think, yeah, they did. It's quite a little bit sad because it was some of the best things they did. Yeah, Eagle Moss has gone bust, Mr. Jekyll and Hyde. Then this was before they debuted the diamond logo, so I think I'm doing pretty good here. I'm the first person that connected the Russell probably saw that and said, "Oh, how marvelous!" Right? Yeah. So
it's the blonde hair, because obviously that was the hair he had when he was announced. Was it the blonde hair as well? Just caps it off.
Right. I kind of like the blonde hair. Yeah, but I'm sad he's not keeping it. Yeah, so this is when he was recording the Barbie movie. He's going to have a big year this year. That's probably going to be one of the most successful movies of the year, the Barbie movie.
It's got Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling in it, aren't they?
Right, but it looks like it's fun.
It does look fun.
It looks like it's fun, right? So the rumor was that he's going to appear in the 6th anniversary. I believe that rumor. Wearing only his knickers. I don't believe that rumor now. Then we went over.
I must have missed that one. Who's going to appear in a set of pants?
I've become such a master in turning white flesh tone into black flesh tone, right? On Photoshop. There's a whole thing you've got to do it. It's really weird, but like
it's what they call expanding the skill set, mate.
It really is. But I've so much that I do now. I feel so bad, but I'll get over it. So it was. July worked out to be a bit of a rough month, mate.
Poor David, yeah.
Right. It certainly doesn't result in me turning into a black woman. So it's good night from me. What's this about? The changing phase of First Doctor leaves media confused. Westworld, man, I so recommend taking your time over that, right? Over those 4 seasons. It is so. I was just talking about it just before you came on. It is so brilliant. It's like I can't express how brilliant it is, right? It's cool, like on a surface level with like just robots and westerns and robots, and then then the storytelling is very clever, but that hides the underlying story, which is the most brilliant thing ever, which is the development of what independent thought and sentience is, and that through like the decision making. It's really interesting. It's one of the best pieces of science fiction I think ever made for TV. Ever made. It's so, but it takes a lot of effort, right? So you got to really
perseverance, commitment,
right? But if you do, you've like seen the light. It's crazy how.
For me, 2022 was the year that I tried yet again with the series that everybody loves, that's on Amazon. It's made such an impression on me that I've forgotten the name again.
The Boys?
No, the other one, the sci-fi one with Thomas Jane in it. Ensemble thing. There's lot of cast.
I remember. Yeah, The Expanse. Well, that went sideways. So who cares?
I've been told how brilliant it is, and I've tried, and I've tried, and I've tried. I may try again.
It was. Honestly, now it went completely sideways. I would say it's not worth it.
Okay.
Right? It's don't bother getting invested. It's no better than, say, a Babylon 5, quite frankly. Right? It's about that level of storytelling.
I'm better off going to watch
Babylon 5 a lot, don't get me wrong. But it's
but it was made. It did finish 25 years ago. So you'd say if it was a choice between revisiting and giving The Expanse another try, and giving the Westworld another try, you'd go for Westworld.
Not even close. I mean, like Westworld is a towering brilliance. I mean, it just is. It's like I can't even express how clever it is. The Expanse just isn't that. I'm sorry. So yeah, listen, end of July was a rough month, right? We lost David Warner. Apparently he was living with Lisa Bauman, found out when that happened.
Yeah, they've been together for quite a long time, I understand, like 15, 20 years, something like that.
Wow.
Time.
So did they meet through Big Finish?
I believe they did. I think that she directed him in something. They did meet through Big Finish, I believe. But yeah, it's a lovely story. I mean, obviously she put up a tribute to him on Twitter as well. You know, it's must have been. Right, I saw that. Yeah, ever so touching. Yeah, I've never met Lisa Bauman. I've never spoken to her or anything, but she just seems like the loveliest woman.
It's weird though. She's left such a shadow of my entire life now. Like, you know, I'm like older now. Like, but she first came into my life. What was it in '88 with Survival, right?
Yeah.
And then during the Wilderness years, she became very identifiable with as Bernie Summerfield, which I knew when I thought it was an audition piece for them to get the Doctor Who license. So I immediately started. I was big into the New Adventures anyway, so I immediately subscribed to the cassette range. This is when I was living in Miami, right? It's but yeah, and then she's like become a director there and. So just like it's so weird. It's been decades upon decades of me following their career. It really has, isn't it? Yeah. Of like really taking an interest in this person who I've never spoken to ever, right? And whenever I see her, I'm always like, see her in something. I'm always happy that she's in something. So and I also know she gives a good performance and she's a very, very good director. Sorry.
Well, I would imagine that she has, like everybody, she has good days and bad days, but she always seems to be smiling. She's always very upbeat about whatever she's doing.
I get the feeling she knows how to do that. It's part of her job, quite frankly. Yeah. But she always has a good attitude, right? I've never heard any like negativity from her. Yeah, which is good because you don't want to hear that from your celebrities.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. The sort of the impression that she gives generally, not literally smiling, but that everything that she gives off on social media, she never joins in on any nonsense. I mean, the things that I noticed Georgia Tennant, Georgia Tennant, who I've got a certain amount of time for. I think she looks like a great mom and a fantastic partner, but she also seems like the most insufferable lefty imaginable. She's wearing a T-shirt. Oh my God, that woman! And I know that people love her.
This is what I've realized that happened in 2022, right? That we have different systems of alarm within Western civilization when things are wrong. We have different like alarm bells that ring, but all those security systems have been circumvented and cut. Right? We don't have a free independent media that monitors the things anymore. Right? We don't have that. No. We don't have politicians that are accountable to the electorate anymore, right?
Definitely not.
No, absolutely we don't, right? We got like two sets of morons that know who cares which one.
We've got a prime minister now in Great Britain that doesn't actually represent anybody.
No, exactly. But that's the thing. Normally, there will be massive alarm sirens going off about everything that's going on in society, but there isn't, right? So that's why I think the vast majority of society is still asleep and thinks everything's normal, because the media's acting like everything's normal, even though everything's on fire.
The BBC, mate, the BBC have not given so much as a second's screen time to covering the Twitter files, which in my view is a huge story, probably approaching Watergate in significance.
But far bigger. It turns out that social media was funded by, set up by black ops money, so they could infiltrate it completely. And this sounds like I wouldn't normally say this because it sounds like a conspiracy theory. Now it's not a theory anymore. This actually happened, right? And it's used as a system of surveilling and controlling the populace. Surveilling, controlling, and suppressing for the populace, especially this year. Like, specifically at the behest of government, right? The government is specifically getting you to silence people's speech, right? This is completely, but it's too late. Like, it's always been this way, right? We didn't. I think it's pretty much. They're just. I don't know what there is to do about it now.
No, I don't either. I think if we're going to hand wave a story like that of this significance, lasting significance, something that has influenced an event as crucial as a democratic election on the most powerful country in the world, then anything's possible. All bets are off, and they just want us to remain sleeping, keep looking at our phones, presumably consuming their content, paying their license fee, and doing as we're told. The world is changing in a way that. We know that it's wrong. I think just like you said, I think our senses are telling us that something is wrong. We are lurching from disaster to disaster to disaster almost weekly now. At one time, we just seem to be facing a disaster every winter. Then it was like twice a year. Now it's monthly to the point where we're in a state of permanent alarm in Great Britain. I spoke to somebody the other day who was visiting the country. They're an expatriate. They'd come back to the UK to spend time with family over Christmas, and they said that they couldn't believe the change in atmosphere amongst the people. Everybody in England just looks and sounds defeated, beaten. Because
there's no escape. I mean, there is no escape. There's no populism.
That took a bleak turn, mate. Sorry. one minute it's boobs, next it's.
These things normally sort themselves out somehow, right? And I've always said 2023 is when the wheels come off the wagon, right? This is the year when the world changes.
The cycle is moving faster. The cycle is moving faster than ever. If you look at a show like Willow, that failed pretty quickly. The Witcher failed instantly.
When you go through the thing, you'll see how many things come and gone that you forgot.
Okay.
That failed completely. So many of them.
You saw how hyped I was for Willow when we looked at that trailer, and I haven't watched it.
I know. Not good. Anyway, so then 2022 just got worse. 3 days later, on the 29th of July, Bernard Cribbins passed away. The outpouring of love for this guy was so genuine. Right, Rusty Davis' obituary was wonderful. Everybody's obituary was wonderful. It was like I said this about the Queen as well. I think most people felt they had like some kind of personal connection.
Yes.
I think we both of them.
A family connection, certainly in the case of Bernard's. He felt like everybody's uncle, everybody's granddad.
Yeah, absolutely. But he'd been with you all your life, right? It was in the original Dalek movies, then the Wombles. Then he's just always been around. Jack Anori, Bernard Cribbins has always been just awesome. Right, never changing, always being awesome, just getting more awesome. And then when he came to Doctor Who, it was just perfect, right? And then when he became like this central character in Doctor Who, also even better. There's nobody else that they,
mate, it was like he'd come home, and that cameo of his in Voyage of the Damned, it just felt so right. And we had no idea that he was going to be back for more after that. It's like he's back where he belongs. He'd never been in the show before, and yet it felt like he was back where he belongs. It's the strangest thing. And I think it's a quality that Bernard had innately in himself, that, you know, a few months after his passing, and, you know, and I've certainly watched a few things in the last few months, you know, since this time, that I'd forgot Bernard was in. And it's always, oh, great, Bernard Cribbins is in this. And it's just wonderful feeling.
Yeah. So there you go. Bernard Cribbins out. That was, I think, one of the biggest losses of the year. We also had more rumors that were totally wrong. Okay. I like looking at rumors that were wrong. They always make me laugh, right? So we had fugitive doctor to regenerate into Hartnell. No, played by David Bradley and Jonathan Hardy. Totally wrong. Totally wrong. Thank God. More
this one came.
Doctor returning. That was true.
The rumor about the first Doctor changing, the fugitive changing into the first Doctor, came from the great Lord Doomcock. And as much as I like,
it did it? Ah,
yeah.
Gotta love a bit of Doomcock, baby. Gotta love a bit of Doomcock.
I do love Doomcock, but he needs to get new sources for his Doctor Who stuff. He doesn't know a thing about Doctor Who or the BBC. He needs to get himself some new sources there, but we do love Doomcock.
We do love Doomcock. Anyway, now we're in deep into the summer, right? Deep into August 5th.
Bloody hell. How did you get away with this?
Photoshop, baby. Photoshop.
Well, I'm not just talking about Photoshop, but the whole thing. I don't remember this.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
I bet
God.
Ross.
I mean,
why is everyone saying my doctor is gay? I don't know, it's weird.
I mean, looking at it, trying to regain composure a little. It's a funny world we live in, isn't it? Where we feel, and even I feel it sometimes, particularly when people sign up for this show that means it's meant so much to the likes of you and I for all these decades. We feel sort of entitled to know that little bit more about them, at their personal lives and all that kind of thing, where they're from. And in this day and age, and at one time, that's kind of where it used to stop in Britain. We'd like to know where people were from,
right,
and maybe what their mum and dad did for a living, and whether they were into trains or collected stamps or like disco music or whatever. Now in 2022, people feel as an extension of that.
You have to find if they're powerful.
Yeah. I only found out what that meant 2 days ago.
Oh, really? It's like 2022. You have to say, do you like anal fisting?
But the truth,
I do not.
But the truth of the matter is, we have no right to know anything about Shooty Gatwa's sexual orientation.
No.
Any more than we do about.
That's not what this video was about. This video was more of the melting down shill media, desperate for validation, toxic fandom, desperate for validation.
Oh, I see.
Saying that the Shooter's doctor's going to be gay.
Oh, right? The doctor himself.
It was just nonsense. Absolute nonsense. And it's just so this. Yeah,
but it's the same thing in principle, though, isn't it? Because people demand a clarification of these things, like practically from day one, even before the guy, has finished writing the thing. It's mad, and this is people on both sides of the aisle. It's not just them. It's some people on our side of the aisle as well.
Yeah. Listen, my overwhelming guess is this: that Russell T Davies is his main goal, one of his main goals, is to make a hub to train new writing talent. I think he's seen how bad the culture is, and how these kids have ideas that he agrees with, and they're killing them, right? They're killing all his ideals in the public sphere by ham-fistingly writing for them,
because they can't write.
He wants to try and break. Right, I think he wants to train them how to write, and that's fine by me. I don't mind somebody having a different worldview writing site and expressing themselves, right? That's legitimate. but like learn how to
What was the name
something.
of that writer who wrote the Impossible Planet back in series 2? Matt something or other.
Oh, I know. That was a good one. Matt, what was it?
Now that writer, as I understand it, Russell had sort of taken that writer under his wing and worked with him.
Right.
I mean, I think he worked with them all really extensively, but particularly with him on that because he wanted Matt Jones. That's it. He wanted to help him to move on with his career. And I think it's partly because he believed in him. I don't think Russell would help anybody who he didn't think had talent. But I think it's partly as well because of all the articles that writer used to write for Doctor Who magazine. If you remember, he was the one who sort of he came out in Doctor Who magazine in that one column.
Right. No, I do remember Matt Jones. He also did one of the Virgin New Avengers. But I think that's also true of what's his name, Tom McRae, who did Ages Still, right, and Rise of the Cybermen in the same season. So it's a very Rusty Davis thing to do. I think he wants to make like an incubator for new talent, right. And if he has to have a bunch of very hot shirtless people around him, I think that's just what he has to go for.
Stephen Moffat didn't seem as into that as Russell did. There were certain writers you could see he formed relationships with writers, and there was some that he would bring back over and over again. But they seemed to disappear as quickly as they arrived. Thought it was a shame. People like Jamie Matheson.
The interesting thing is this about Russell is that for all his expressed disdain for Judeo-Christian morality, or biblical morality, I would say, he is probably one of the most biblically moral people in the entertainment industry. I think he's probably one of the most moral people in the industry if you take morality from a Judeo-Christian perspective, right? I think he's one of the most. I think he's a very, very deeply moral person. In fact, that family is very, very important to him, and family is the center of Judeo-Christian morality. So I think that's where it all comes from.
Well, right? I think that picture that you put up earlier on from his Christmas, I think that illustrates your point perfectly.
Well, also all his work, which shows he knows about family. Okay, one of the high spots of the summer was the Doctor and the Daleks 4K in-depth review and Loving Piss Take. We love this. I did this with slides. This was a great little review. Man, these were good. Man, the foals look gay in this. Did you get these?
You know what? I didn't in the end. I will be buying them. I could never decide which edition to buy, so in the end, I bought something else. But I will get them. They're still available.
This is what I did, right? I illegally downloaded them on 4K, and then I was like, fine, I'm just going to buy them on download. Still not available on download. To buy, I thought they'll be available that day. I went to buy them. No. Just let me buy them and I'll pay for them.
I remember you telling me at the time. There's a choice between this sort of really this massive box set, which I think was £50 for each film.
It was crazy, which you're never going to look at any of the things in ever again.
Exactly.
And it looks kind of cool, but you're going to forget about it. Right. We've been down there.
It would gather dust on my shelf for years.
Yes.
But so I decided I was going to go for the steelbook, but I don't like the artwork on the steelbook as much as I do these. I hear there's a re-release coming in standard packaging. So with this cover,
download works for me. Just give me download. Have it on iTunes, and I'll pay you right now, mate. Okay. I actually feel really bad that I haven't bought it. Right, because I just assumed I'd be able to buy it. I felt like a real schmuck about it. So I'm sorry, I've stolen it. I'm waiting to pay for you, okay? But I really am sorry. Like if I go to hell for this, I'm like, really? This sucks ass. So anyway, so that was one of the high spots. And one of the So 2022, So 22 came out on August 8th. Sad man. So 2022. So nearly fantastic, so modern day insanity. This is one where Neil Gaiman swore blind a big black woman was a white woman. Just swore she was a white woman. Like, no, 100%. That is a white woman. Like, no, it's not. She's a black woman. No, she's 100% a white woman. No, she's black. Well, I don't see the difference. Yes, you do, because that's why you picked her. Weirdos. That's what it's about. Other than that,
gaslighting on a grand scale.
Yes. So yeah, speaking of gaslighting, I don't know why, but our next guest, I kind of feel like comes from an Elseworlds, right? I think maybe he deals with Elseworlds, but it feels like he comes from like the Gotham and Gaslight world, because you said gaslighting. So maybe he does, because I've never met him. Maybe he's on a trans-temporal communication device from his reality, and you go outside the door, it's really a Gotham by Gaslight reality. Who knows or dares to dream? Well, let us ask our next guest, Dr. Alex. How are you, sir?
What a brilliant intro. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, I can hear you.
Yeah.
From all the way in your other dimension.
In my other dimension.
Yes. So did you see The Sandman on Netflix?
I'm the worst guest ever. I don't have the time to watch anything. I haven't even watched all of Raised by Wolves that you've sent to me, and that's not even all of it.
Oh, that's good. Well, don't, because they cancelled it. Actually, I am hoping that Raised by Wolves. I mean, this is not going to happen, but I am hoping that after they're released from HBO Max, they get picked up by someone. Like, can I just tell you what's Netflix? Stop giving Meghan fucking Markle 88 million. Give it to any of those two. Give it to Raised by Wolves, or for like, really 88 million to Meghan fucking Markle. Oh, God.
Terrible.
Again, it makes me glad that I don't have a television, because I don't get half of this, like the general morass of crap that most people get in their lives every day.
I think they keep suggesting to me. I'm like, I wouldn't watch that. I wouldn't press play on that if Meghan Markle would walk in and give me a blowjob. Right? That's how much I am not in it. And that would be fair reimbursement for paying 88 million for her to do that. I mean, other than that, this piece of shit that they made. Leave me alone. Stop suggesting it, Netflix. Okay? Stop doing that, and stop being pedo weirdos. Okay? Those are the two things you got to do. Having said that, Sandman wasn't bad.
By the way, I do like. Unlike both of you, I do like The Expanse, but I'm also a season at least behind with that as well, because I just don't have the time. I'm too busy doing stuff.
Don't bother. The last two seasons of that sucked ass. Don't bother. Run away. Oh, you know what's that didn't jump the shark, but was always stupid right from the beginning. Snowpiercer. That should be coming back soon. I do enjoy Snowpiercer. It's really dumb, but I really love it. They say that about me. Anyway, moving on. By August 13th, we had to ask ourselves, does Screen Rant hate Doctor Who? They rejoice over the lost episodes and then catalogue why the current era has totally failed. This was a bit of a weird one. Let's just say the Shill Media has been in a bit of an emotionally strange place over the last year, right? They don't really know what's going on. They don't know what's up. They don't know what's down. Poor dears. They have. They're confused. They are confused. That I think that's the way to describe it. They are very, very confused. So, yeah,
I do love
that's
that.
essentially where they are. But Dr. Whitetail, I'm glad his episodes were junked. Also, you're shit too, Jodie. I don't know where I am. That is where they are now.
More than just your amazing words on it. I love the way you compose that thumbnail. I mean, just Patrick Troughton's face in the background overshadows Jodie, literally, but also it just perfectly illustrates their respective positions in Doctor Who, except Jodie shouldn't be in it at all. But this giant, expressive face of Patrick Troughton, and then this stupid gurning twat in the front.
Right. I mean, like one person was able to exude character just in a snap, and the other one wasn't able to do it in 30 episodes of turgid nightmare. Anyway, by August 15th, we found out that Strange New World, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, more popular than all the other Kurtzman Trek combined, baffling Paramount. Right? They're like, but how? We don't understand. Fascinating. It appears that when you don't make unwatchable garbage, people want to watch it more. Yes, it is weird, and Hollywood still going to understand it. Like, oh, God. Listen, okay, all you Hollywood fucks out there, listen to me, okay? I'm going to help you out. You're all too rich. Here's what's going to happen. For 10 grand, which for you is chump change, I will give you a service for a whole month for 10 grand, right? I will tell you if you're being a schmuck or not, okay? I will tell you. No, don't say sorry for Black Lives Matter. Don't do that. Don't apologize for your privilege, okay? I will save you so much. No, don't sing Imagine. It's not going to work. Don't do that.
I hated that song from the
There's
get-go.
nothing for you. God, I could really help you out. Hollywood. Did you ever see the South Park where Cartman has to pretend to be a robot called I think Orgasmo?
No.
Wasn't that from Barbarella?
And he's taken to Hollywood, and they wanted to come up with ideas. He's like, Adam Sandler owns a burger restaurant. Like, that's brilliant. Yes, we'll do that. And then of course they try and have sex with Orgasmo because it's Hollywood, man. And boy, all I'm saying is, if you're a child that likes to be molested, Hollywood is the city for you, right? I just like everybody should go where they want to go. But if you're one of those people, you should definitely go there, right? It used to be Sodom and Gomorrah, now it's Hollywood. What if Sodom and Gomorrah put out good plays, right? If you were it's like, you know, you're riding around biblical Israel, right? And you come across Sodom and Gomorrah and said, oh man, they got the new Tales of Golgolith on. Oh, I want to go see it, but they're so morally unsound. I don't know what to do. I don't know if that happened. Anyway, Dr. Alex, have you seen Strange New Worlds?
No, I think I've seen a clip. That's about it. Wasn't
there you go. What are you normally doing with your time?
Apart from writing and working for like money and stuff.
Yeah, working for money, that sucks ass.
Yeah, exactly. Working for money.
We're not a fan. We're not a fan. I'm much more interested in your bicycling exploits.
Bicycling?
Yeah, you're always fixing a bicycle.
Well, to be fair, yeah. I mean, I my bicycle does occasionally repair, but I've actually got a motorbike now. That's the new thing.
Oh no!
Nope.
Whenever I see your Facebook feed, it's always saying about bicycling.
Yeah, I
was like, really? Okay.
Upgrade my bike. Yes, but now I have one with the engine on it, which is incredibly dangerous.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
there you go. That's fun. But you're
good news.
Home alone now. So it's just you and the cats, isn't it?
Me and the cats. One of the cats is hello, fatty. Oh. One of the cats was sitting next to me thinking,
that's a big cat.
See, this one is huge.
There you go.
And he's a good boy, though. He is a good boy. You can go back over there now.
When do you get your life back together again?
When do I get my life?
When's everything go back to normal after the holidays?
Oh, when I go back to normal work. I think the 4th or the 3rd of January, I'm back in normal work again.
I think it's on the 6th, James Gunn is telling us his plans for the DC Extended Universe.
Oh.
And I am holding off a comment till I hear what he wants to do. There was a rumor that he wants to cast Elliot Page as Superman. I don't think that's true.
Absolute nonsense. That's another one. Oh no,
I don't think that's true. That's why I didn't watch.
What gender is Elliot Page at the moment?
Academy season 3.
What gender is
Elliot Page? What gender? He's a male, and he's always been a male.
Welcome,
don't argue. That's just the way it's been, mate. That's just the way it's been.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are at August 16th, and we're looking at what was going on. The first rumors broke about McCann and McCoy back on the screens in 2023. We're a year late, 2022. Tennant and Tate hits BBC 4 Extra global streaming. Oh, that was a Big Finish story. Westworld a finale bleaker than Blake servers. Yes. With the complete destruction of all life. Yes, I think so. Where we're all murdering each other. Brilliant, right? Absolutely brilliant.
When for us who don't watch Chimblehall, in the case that was it, when were McGann and McCoy back on the screen again?
They were on for in a few different ways. Firstly, McGann and McCoy were in the scene when Jodie had been forced to regenerate into the Master. And the Jodie persona was walking around in the mental landscape of the Doctor and came across the Guardians of the Change, which is where they go when they stop being the Doctor. And they had the Guardians started off as David Bradley's first Doctor, then turned into Colin Baker, then turned into Sylvester McCoy, then turned into Paul McGann, and then turned back into David Bradley, I think. It just, basically did that. All wearing these Gallifreyan robes, apart from Paul McGann, who wore his Night of the Doctor costume. Right. But also, Jodie Whittaker's Doctor makes a hologram AI interface to a computer or something. Maybe the I can't remember. But it goes to help Ace and it goes to help Tegan. And so to interface with them, it turns into an older version of the Fifth Doctor. And Tegan gets to say she's pissed off with him and she loves him. Okay. It doesn't really make sense. And then but it's quite nice. And the same thing happens with Ace and the Seventh Doctor. And that was a really good scene, right? That was excellent. I think that was a real closure. It was like, hey, I always wanted the best for you. It's fair to say, and I really love that scene, right? So that was nice to see. Okay. But like basically anything without Jodie wasn't bad, right? It wasn't really Doctor Who. It's like Doctor Who in the same way you saw a Dalek in a dodgy fairground ride, right? That didn't really look like a Dalek. The same sort of thing, right?
Yeah. I would say that one good scene doth not an episode make, and I don't feel that somehow my life is lacking having my absolute
your life is
no
superior.
Timble Who in my life whatsoever, and I think I'm going to keep it that way.
Yeah, it's shocking. All of it.
Your life is superior for that. Anyway, I was so amazed with Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. I broke out a new font for a retrospective of season 1. That good, right? That good. Freaking awesome. I don't have high hopes for season 2, but I don't have high hopes for season 1. So hopefully I'll be impressed again.
My feelings about it exactly as I understand it. It's largely, I think it's completely the same staff that are working on season 2 of Strange New World. So and they went straight into making it. In fact, I think they were working on it before season 1 aired. So they won't be responding to any stupidity.
Mm-hmm. There'll be continuity.
Well, that's good news. Well, apart from their own internal stupidity, which I'm sure there's quite a lot, right?
Could kick in at any moment.
Oh, my nose.
Takir.
I thought you farted.
My special nasal.
No, okay. Here's a funny thing, right? In synagogue, if you farted, the thing to do was cough, so it covered it over until COVID. Now, if you cough, you've got a fart to cover it over because people look at you. It's looking badly if you're coughing. Anyway, so they made a comeback and it was actually pretty darn good. On the 18th of August, I did a review of The Legend of Luther Arkwright. This is the third volume in Luther Arkwright. The first one was done in the late 70s, early 80s. The second one in the 2000s, and so there's been 20-year gaps. Fascinating series, really strong recommend. It's interesting that it's taken this artist his entire life, right? And you see, it's like he keeps thinking back into. He's clearly older in this one, the art, and the art is suffering. But this is kind of like a really interesting, I would say, last hurrah. Beautiful production values. Can you give me the other 2 volumes that match this, and I will buy them tomorrow. This is fantastic. So if you read Luther Arkwright, this was a recommend. If not, start at the beginning would be my recommendation.
Brian Talbot's name I recognise.
Yeah. In fact, this year there is an audio adaptation of it starring David Tennant, and there's a sequel of that coming out this year called the Heart of the Empire.
So, I saw they got him back, and it's
that reminds me.
That's
more important than this.
Quite looking forward to.
More important even than this.
I'm sorry.
But even more important than this, you've reminded me of something. How far along has Crown of the Empire got?
Oh God, I've got halfway through that. I did too busy doing other. Your thing bounced sit down, right? I've still got 2 things to do for you.
I wasn't going to mention that.
Right, I'm halfway through a story. And yeah, no, I'd love to do that, but I've had to do like real grown-up work so I can eat. You know, the normal stuff. What can I say? What can I tell you? Yeah, the not fun stuff. Anyway, that was Eventually the Rock, right? It's sublime. I love this. And we were talking about this today. Rumors about what's coming up. Get ready for the Savlon Glips Adventures, starring Andy Serkis. Yeah, I could hardly Adam believe it myself.
He'd be great in that role, though, wouldn't he? Yeah,
he would be. I mean, like a Space Arthur Daily. I think that'll go down very well, right? I would say a high point of the year, but this was pretty darn good. Something that ended stronger than it started. Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul really ended in a good place and told a very good story. Did you watch it?
Never seen a single episode. In fact, I've not seen much of Breaking Bad. I've only really seen the first 2 seasons of Breaking Bad.
Me neither.
Oh man, Breaking Bad is awesome, right? So it turns out Breaking Bad is a little bit part of the much bigger Better Call Saul story, and that really worked. But the early seasons are a bit weak, but it built to a very clever finale, making it a recommend. Right, this is a recommend. A lot of like there's about 5-6 seasons of it. Something not recommended. Getting a ride from Colin Baker. Do you remember this? August 22nd.
Yeah, I did feel for him, but at the end of the day, he did commit a crime.
I mean, like, come on. What can I tell you? Right, Dr. Alex, I want to ask you a question. You have a video out about how to make an audiobook, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No, but you said something earlier that really resonated with me. We've really got to get more sharing into how to make a community.
Yes,
that can make stuff that's not dependent on mainstream media.
Yep. Because I made
because
sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I'll go. No, obviously I made season 12 into an audiobook, which I've shoved out on Amazon, Audible, same thing basically.
And also, season 12 is an alternative Doctor Who story with a Peter Capaldi Doctor.
Yeah, carrying on with the Capaldi-ish Doctor from was it Twice Upon a Time? I always forget the name of the last episode he's in.
That's right. Yeah.
So basically, it's rejigging from the beginning of Twice Upon a Time, really, and rewriting the Jodie Whittaker Farag mess out of the picture nicely, but without saying it wasn't there. It just makes it a nice has a nice explanation for it, and then carries on with Capaldi all the way through. But yeah, that, as you know, Bob, was a YouTube series from 2019 onwards. Then we turned it into the books, and then you put fantastic covers on it. But the YouTube series itself was the audio for an audiobook. So I tarted it up quite a bit. That actually took more work than I'm ever made claim to. But yeah, it took quite a bit of work to make it to my level of acceptability. But
I tell you, listen, tarting something up is a good thing to do. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the tarting. Let me tell you, you can't tart too much for me.
I well tarted away, but those became the chapters of the audiobook. I had to make some additional bits of recording to go around the audiobook, like a sample that goes on Audible and Amazon and other things. But what you were saying was, I want to tell people how to make an audiobook, because I've done it now. I've sweated my way through it. I've got it past their own quality controls, which are not impossible to pass, as some people on the net seem to think before I started. It's like, will I ever bother to do this? They seem to be saying it's impossible. No, it's not. So I want to tell people how, because I want people to do what I'm doing, what you can do, what everyone can do, is make your own audiobooks. It is possible. You have the material there. You can do it. So yeah, again, I want to make an
honestly, there's so much talent out there, right? I really got to get tell Problem Being about this, because he knows a bunch of people, and the repeated thing from going over this year was how much corporate media is garbage. Like, you can't rely. They had 2 watchable shows. That's about it. Exhibit A. I mean, this was.
The She-Hulk.
Yeah, I mean, what's worse, watching an episode of She-Hulk or getting an anal fisting? I don't know. It's it depends on the fist, I guess. Very, very, very confusing. So anyway, She-Hulk. Let's just forget about that. Then we have one of the stupidest rumors of the year. That what's her name is going to be Rose Ailing Ellis is going to be the companion. So I was like, oh, look at that, a normal looking a girl who's vaguely attractive. That's good. And it was like, it was quiet. Nobody knew what to say, right? And then it's a play a clip, and she's like, oh, I'm the dog. I'm like, really? So she like, it didn't really work. So I just imagined, you are a prisoner of the Daleks. Well, Dad, I can't hear you. Where's your sign language? I mean, like, it's, thank God, Millie will not be having that trouble. What inclusive casting help or hinder? Rossi Davis, new Doctor Who. More of the media desperate for this, like, identity casting bollocks, right? Just going on and on. But you know who ignored the identity casting bollocks and they actually did something very, very good? Game of Thrones. Who good? And a great thumbnail. Hey, look at this. I'm doing what HBO did to Game of Thrones. Hurry up and finish before we can. Thanks for the second season.
That takes some front to put that thumbnail out. Jesus Christ.
This is what I just on painting, but it was actually quite good.
I love this show. It's one of the highlights of my year. Every episode was a delight.
Was that and Peacemaker were the two shows of the year. Completely agree. A real surprise. Everything else, dross, man. Absolute dross. Fine. We got... so this was a great story. This was from August 26th. that they were conned into it, right? Because they said it was... Well, I don't know. They're normies, right? They're normies. I mean, I think everyone who knows how bad it was with Peter Davison, and then he's told to keep his mouth shut. This is totally the 6th anniversary. Yeah, I can totally see it happening. Meanwhile, Noel Clark's continued uncancelling happened, and you see how the angry Jodie Beck gets smaller and smaller. That's what's happening in reality, right? That's totally what's happening in reality. Completely vindicated. But did that help John Barrowman? Not really. He had a bit of a rough time of it, right? Definitely had a rough time of it. And that was the end of August. Then we're on to September, and things take a bad turn. Dun, dun, dun. Oh. This was so bad.
Best decision I made this year was deciding not to watch this, not to give it a moment of my time.
I'm with you, and I did the same.
Oh, I watched it to review it, and it was worse than you could possibly imagine. It was like what? Why have your main character be an insufferable cunt? I like that's not entertaining, right? That doesn't work. Don't have your main character be an insufferable cunt. That's a really bad idea.
My poor cohort on Type 40, Sarah, watched every single episode, and she even made videos about it. She's a massive Lord of the Rings fan.
Me too.
Let's
that's why
only speak to Sarah. I got a reply. I never replied to her. She sent me a message. It was like a couple of days. I never replied. I feel so bad.
She'll understand.
I'm so sorry I didn't reply.
She's a very very understanding woman. She'll understand.
But I mean,
I know, but
why would you?
Anyway, oh god,
why would you watch this?
This is worse than anybody's expectations.
We were already disappointed by The Hobbit, which was spun out over 3 movies, which it shouldn't have been. The only way to watch that is the There and Back Again version, which has condensed the 3 movies into one 3-hour movie, and that's actually not bad.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's really good, but
That's a good idea.
that's already a warning. That was a very talented bunch of people forced to do something very stupid, and it's still not watchable until somebody else mushed it down into a 3-hour movie. What on earth would make you think this bunch of clowns would do anything decent with it on Amazon Prime?
This is not watchable under any way, shape, or form. It's so incompetent, as well as being so like, you know what this is? If you've ever seen Star Trek Discovery, and thank God you haven't, it's the British crew is the Muppet Babies, right? These like absolutely ineffectual pussy losers, and somehow they are not raped and murdered each week, which they really should be, right? I mean, they really absolutely should just have been raped and murdered over and over again by Orion syndicates, right? And there's technology stolen. But they keep succeeding, right? These are the people who make it.
Right, to give STD some credit here, that's one of the few series, in fact, the only series of crap that I actually did watch some of. I watched the first 6 episodes before I went, fuck this is a pile of shite. This is ruining my memories of Star Trek.
I even like the first 6 episodes.
Yeah.
I even like the first 6 episodes of it. I like the Klingon orcs. I like Harry Mudd. I like
Alex, you can't possibly imagine how much worse that show got.
Oh yeah, I can. But that's what's
so worth watching an episode.
That's why I didn't watch any of the Chimbal Jodie Whittaker because I didn't want something.
Okay.
And again, I didn't want to ruin my memory of what there was.
Alex.
So it was a great warning of what was to come.
Okay, this is your channel, right? This is your channel. You will watch things on headphones and do a live commentary, and you can watch along on these things you haven't seen before.
No.
I would love to see that. Oh my God, that would be
I'm
so
not watching
awesome.
this shit. I didn't watch it the first time. I'm not going to do it. What? For some sort of masochistic, weird pleasure? No.
You'd be amazed how many people out there do it.
I do all the time, baby.
Alex, I'm with you. I couldn't do it either.
Yeah.
It's the genre equivalent of slamming your balls into a drawer. Yeah,
it's not my thing. I'm not a Tory MP.
Anyway, so speaking of things that are completely forgettable, do you remember Liz Truss was the Prime Minister?
What a great segue.
That's one of your best ever. That is seamless.
So, of course, Toxic Doctor Who fan had a meltdown about that, and they were outraged about this. It's like really, you know what, you needed whipped up the energy. She was gone in 20 minutes. Leave us alone, right? But no, they just did this. Their ongoing screaming meltdown. Oh, it's been so like I really got to just tune this out next year, right? It's just like it's a small screaming dying group. Thank God they're going. They're so twiggered. But of course, but on September 11th, we had a very sad day. Another September 11th. That was a sad day. The Queen and I remembering the morning. So yeah, that was right after she died. The funeral was the next day, I think, or a week later.
It was a week and a half, I think.
Sorry,
I think it was around a week and a half.
So this was right after she passed. But yeah, how unwatchably bad can it get? It's so much worse. The Abominable Snowman, like, I'm sad that they stopped the animations, but this was not good. Like, I'm glad I didn't buy more crap ones. I'm not going to tell you. Okay, so yeah, I dealt with this today in a video. Never stops. This line never stops. Sorry, media. No matter how many times you say it, there was no sexist backlash against Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who. I know you kept telling us that there was. You're lying cunts. We know you're lying cunts because we caught you lying. And okay, the cunt, I'll admit, that's my editorial, right? I suspect that you're cunts, okay? I just suspect it. You probably are. But you are lying. So yes, it never happened.
We'll be fighting this. We'll be fighting this narrative for a very long time to come, I think.
And every time I say it, I take a piss all over it.
Yeah, as I just said, it was the STD that put me off Jodie Who, and that's got nothing. I'm sure that has nothing to do with Jodie Whittaker.
No, it was just unbearably bad. The whole thing. Eggy Thorpe, it says here the only reason you wouldn't like Orphan 55 is because you're a sexist. I was so paid to watch you watch Orphan 55. Fuck me.
Me again.
I
wishing harm upon my...
I would so pay for that. Not much, but yeah, listen. That sounds awesome. I would love to see that. Yes. Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Encore here. Would you like to swim through this cesspool? Well, that sounds like a great idea.
Yes. But listen, do you ever have trouble sleeping? Do you ever have trouble falling asleep?
I did last night, yeah.
Oh, because I can help you. Disney Plus has the answer for you in this incredible insomnia cure. Star Wars Andor. Oh, me. A 2-hour story told over 10 hours. It's so boring.
Damn shame.
Hours upon hours. Not bad, but like in one episode, a character gets a bus.
Mm-hmm.
There's a character in it who's supposed to like echo Javert from the Les Miserables, right? Or the Glums, as I call it. Who's just like pointless. It's always. I mean, some of it's good, but like mostly it's cut down 80% of it. It's a show made entirely from was it deleted footage?
Really?
Yeah, BBC. We're up to the 23rd of September. BBC super embarrassed, right, about the finale. I have to tell you, it's the best thing they've done. Eccleston hates Mark Strong. Neil Gaiman loves Babylon 5, and also is a bit of a cut.
Why
right?
does Eccleston hate Mark Strong?
They didn't get on when they worked together.
When did they work together?
Friends in the North, was it? My guess.
Okay.
I don't know. One of the standouts of Big Finish that year, though, September 25th, was This Is Awesome. Right, this is one of their best releases for the Fifth Doctor. It's essentially Genesis of the Autons, sort of, as a very, very organically Fifth Doctor story. This is the second of a 2-part box set where the Fifth Doctor is adrift in his timeline. Right, he's just regenerated, and suddenly he's much further forward, and he jumps to different points in his timeline. So he ends up here in this. I think 6 or 8-part, I think 6-part Alton story, and explains what's going on with him, what's going on with that, and it's got Atlee and his master, and this is just everything that's good about the Fifth Doctor.
It looks a bit
John Coltrane plays a brigadier perfectly.
Should have been the fourth Doctor.
I'm sorry.
It looks a bit Douglas Adamsy. Shouldn't it have been the Fourth Doctor?
No. This is not Douglas Adamsy. This is if you want Douglas Adamsy, there's
apart from the title, then.
42. Their title has not been good, right? This was this box set was to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Fifth Doctor, right? 40 years in time and space or something would have been better, but 40 their titling is really bad. Fine. So, was it still black? There, look at this. This is how awful this year is. It's still going on. Right? I
just saw the rocket coming out there.
Stops.
Oh yeah, Austin Powers.
Exactly. This is like Jeff Bezos, right? Who would have thought this would be a more embarrassing failure than Jeff Bezos' penis-shaped rocket ship? Jeff Bezos did have a penis-shaped rocket ship. There you go. Coming to the end of September, we had The Abominable Snowman. Wasn't very good. Give it a miss. Then we're in October, and Doctor. Yeah, they can't stop obsessing about Jews. It's so weird. They are like Cartman from South Park, right? They really are. They're like being Demi here. I hate anti-Semites and can't stop obsessing about it. Yeah, I know, weirdos.
The sight of Jeremy Corbyn would make anybody feel bilious.
Oh man! So then we're finally getting towards the end of like Jodie's final story, but they can't have any. They don't put any marketing in. We can't have any trailers of emoji, especially because they have spoilers. We don't want spoilers. It's because it's shit, isn't it?
I have a question for you. Why did you make Chimbal look so emaciated? I mean, he always looks like overstuffed to me. I mean, what did you do to him?
It's actually a female model wearing. I think it's a female model wearing a Jodie t-shirt, which I put his head on.
Right.
I think because
I also use it for the caricature one where I make his head very big. But that's you learn these little things. The BBC's beacon marketing on the power of the Doctor reluctantly begins. All right, kid, I think my career might be salvageable. You still are screwed. That's right. How Mandy got another job, I don't know. Who'd you have to blow to get that? I don't imagine her blowjobbing skills will be much better than her acting, which were quite wooden, right? I mean, I'll be scared of getting a splinter or two, okay?
Painful.
So October 8th, Crowley says, fuck off once again to Doctor. I'd rather put my cock in a blender than do the woke fucks in the BBC again. Toxic men! Yes. Okay, this is unfortunate. Alan Moore researched about resurgence of fascism, whilst unfortunately failing to notice an actual resurgence of fascism. Yeah, whoopsie.
He tends to live his life in a bit of a bubble, doesn't he, Alan Moore? I think it's feasible that he hasn't noticed what's been going on.
Could be. Again, I like to think Alan Moore, if he saw this thumbnail, would enjoy it, right? I think he would like that. That's just me for you. Jodie Whittaker celebration, looking back at the terrible era, the plot holes, bad dialogue, toxic fans, idiotic lecturing. We remember it all. Like the slow, painful, woke death of G4 TV. G4 TV, the lowest viewed thing on in media for 2022. It is an absolute failure. Maybe be the first to say, fuck off, Jodie. You were awful. Icky thump, what an honor. Plowing through. Bracing for impact is coming. Yeah, what a lie. We're not 100% confident.
You drove them absolutely wild on Twitter with these thumbnails. You know, some of the they hated you for it.
2022. So then, towards the night before Geordie, if I put my whole time on Doctor Who in the context of one word, the word I would use is joy. Actual quote from interview.
Unbelievable.
I had the flames in the background. Keep going. Then the glorious day is nearly here.
Oi.
It's Chips and Jodie fucking of Eve. Don't you live stream? It's the final countdown. Yes. Okay. We had 2 final countdowns. Look at that. 1 final countdown. Then promptly live stream down. This was the final countdown as with Chips and Whittaker. Way to go, fucking bye. We take a piss on their turgid legacy. And then it's over.
I've only just noticed you got Christian dressed as a punk in the last one.
What the hell?
You look like Huggy Bear.
We will literally do anything to get you to watch Icky Thorpe. Please say my legacy for the lowest ratings ever.
I have seen this thumbnail before, but unsurprisingly, I was staring at Mandy Gill's enormous breasts. So I hadn't noticed.
You don't know the gag. That's the trouble. Sorry if I brought your little kiddie time travel show. But Icky Thorpe, I did it my way. Oh, God, she's gone. And this was weird, right? This is what the weird Jodie fans think romantic love looks like. No, this is how you cradle a baby, you weird pedophile fucks. Will you stop? So this is the entirety of the 1,000 content for the episode. That's more than Tyler's child got, Icky Thump. And then everything changed. We went from the 24th to the 25th, the 10th effect. Jodie Whittaker instantly forgotten. House of Dragon do wing beaters stick the land? Yes, they did. The Battle for Superman, Henry Cavill versus J.J. Abrams' BIPOC Superman, they're both dead. And just like that, the Normans started caring. It started being excited about. Being excited by it, talking about Doctor Who again. Which led to this weird phenomenon. But on the 26th of October, the mainstream media's unbearable angst at David Tennant's return to Doctor Who. I really, really like this, but don't want to admit I was wrong about Chibnall Whittaker. Yes, this has been the shadow of the year that we lived in since then, right? Dr. Alex, have you noticed a shift in consciousness?
I did notice that some of my colleagues at work almost immediately said, "Oh, what do you think of Ncuti as the Doctor?" Whereas they've not been saying anything about Doctor Who until that point. Yes.
Look, I had was it Mega Geek on the other day, and I said, "Look, I think Ncuti seems really charismatic." Like, really? You think so? I'm like, to me, he does. Logo reveal and Ncuti were the first official promo, and that's how you say. Whittaker say the Whittaker Chibnall era was unwashable garbage without saying it was unwashable garbage. They went back to the diamond logo.
Yeah.
Right? They went back to the diamond logo.
The biggest biggest klaxon going off for the brand was seeing this appear within a day and a half of them disappearing.
Yes. So then this new phenomenon appeared of Chibnall flagellation. Which I think I counted in the thumbnail. Cultural vandalism, you're doing 20 in the cube, creep. But I guess what the BBC said they wanted. I mean, that is true. Does this mean that they're not turning me black or gay? No, they're turning black and gay, probably. Who knows? But then, at the end of October, things got weird. Is Kanye West anti-Semitic? Turns out, yes.
Well, didn't you make 2 videos on this subject? And your original, I thought you were very generous towards this, man.
Yeah. I was trying to be, but then the next day he's like, yeah, no, I don't differentiate between Jews. They're all the same. I'm like, well, there's no real easy way to spin that, right? I felt bad for Dave Chappelle, who really went out of his way to like defend him. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll listen to Dave Chappelle. But okay, so my take on this is
Dave Chappelle still defending
the whole end of days scenario for me.
I wouldn't have thought so.
No, Dave Chappelle jumped for cum.
I don't think anybody. I mean, who could?
No, you can't. It's crazy.
I've never heard.
This is very good. This is very good news for Trump. It is because the voters that they'll peel off from the way they win elections now is by having this weird conglomeration of people who don't normally vote, who sign over their ballots to people, right? So a lot of those, enough of a percentage of that will give their sign over their votes to Kanye instead, right? I think he's going to have a good ballot harvesting campaign, and I think he's going to destroy the Biden Democrat ballot harvesting. I think in a weird twist of irony, right? I think he's going to chip away from Biden because listen, it's relying on anti-Semitism never really hurts you, right? Let's be fair, it's never really been that much of a has been. No, when you come out and very open about it, it normally works out okay. And I think there's a large. I think he's going to get a bunch of white people vote for him as well, right? I think he's going to get the KKK vote. I really do. So, but I think essentially he's taking the black vote, enough of a portion of the black vote from the Democrats. So he's probably going to be dead by 2024. So there you go. You heard it here first, folks. Will he be killed by a much bigger dragon? Probably. This was one of the best special effects of the year, right? There's this. You never saw this, Dr. Alex, right?
No, I am sorry.
Okay, fine. So there's this bit where this kid is on a dragon, and the dragon's huge, right? And there's somebody on a dragon much bigger. So he's flying away from the much bigger dragon, and you just see him fly overhead, and you get to see the scale, right, of the different ones as you see the shadow of the bigger dragon, and you know it's going to go down badly, right? They're going to go down badly. But you know what's going to go down well is the Disney Plus deal. It's huge. Broke on October 30th, right? There is a lot of money going into this, and Disney is desperate for a hit. You know, their Star Wars hotel is at 25% occupancy over Christmas, their busiest time.
Wow.
That's a complete total failure.
Right? That is weird, yeah.
Yeah, they really screwed that up. Now, I theorize this. They might be too small for Big Finish. Might be too small for Doctor Who in this new landscape. As Rusty Davis is doing Dark Season with them next year, that for me says Big Finish is probably safe, right? Either that or Bad Wolf is going to buy them, and there's going to be Bad Wolf Audio as a streaming service. Gunning for Greatness. Everyone's very excited on October 31st. There's much wailing and gnashing of teeth now when James Gunn has announced the head of
he
DCEU.
makes one decision that people don't like and they turn instantly against him. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a bit.
It really is. Well, again, I got to see what his plan is.
Exactly.
But like,
he hasn't even said anything yet.
Dr. Alex, have you followed this story at all?
Only the most vague way. I knew it was in.
Okay, so James Gunn, he did Suicide Squad and Guardians of the Galaxy. I actually watched Suicide Squad last night. It's very entertaining. It surprised me how entertaining it was. Right, the
original one.
So he was put in charge as the creative director of DCEU, and then he ended up getting rid of I think all of the Zack Snyder people, like Henry Cavill. I think Wonder Woman might be out as well. So basically, he wants to go for a much younger thing, is what he said. But it was like really pissed off. Much wailing and gnashing of teeth. But like on October 31st, they were all happy, right? More media hating on classic Doctor Who because Jodie Whittaker looks bad. The more she looks bad, the more they freak out. On November the 4th, I do this wonderful thumbnail, right? I believe that we're going to find out that David Tennant, the Doctor, has been in the Toymaker's realm for many, many, many years, and the entire Whittaker era took place there. But boy, did that thumbnail take a lot of work.
I'm worried about how RTD intends to do that, though. I still think this could be messily complex, overcomplicated, or it can end up throwing out some babies with the bathwater here. We might lose essentially Matt Smith and Capaldi, since it seems to be going straight back to
no. Okay, this is what I think he's going to do. I think he's going to say he regenerated into Whittaker, and she's been in the Toymaker's realm ever since, right? So everything happened. Right, and but it's been a facsimile.
Which is still unsatisfactory. I mean, the fact that she's an actual incarnation of the Doctor is itself
but then
a
in
pile
your
of poo.
headcanon, you could see. You can say in a headcanon, you could say she was addled by being in this weird Toymaker realm, right? And then you could just write it off, and it's gone. But bring back Capaldi. Yeah, this show, man, watch the first episode and the last episode. Everything else missed. Capaldi had a great performance. The central premise wasn't as good as they thought it was. Right? I'm also saying that. You didn't. This is if this was a BBC show from the 70s, it would have been 3 episodes long, which is about the length of the story. But they made it like 6 or 8 episodes. Didn't work. Didn't work at all. What did work though? This was a lot of fun. Kaleidoscope. What was I going to say? By the way, Dan, what time do you have a stream starting? A show starting?
I haven't got a stream. I haven't got a stream start tonight. I'm not live, but I am dropping a video at 8 o'clock. So I have got to shoot in a minute because I've got to get a few things done. Yeah.
Right.
So 8
See,
o'clock
I'm
on the
in
Facebook
November. I'm trying to wrap up. Do you want to share the thumbnail for your stream and
I've got something. Hold on a second. This is what's going on later on. Where is it? There it is. This is what's going on later on the Spacebook channel at 8 o'clock. It's the second of the Type 40 extras that we put out this week. So this is something people got in touch with me and asked for, because obviously we wrapped up on Type 40 Live for Christmas. We always take a good 4-6 weeks away in between seasons of that show so we can have a bit of a rest. But people wanted to know what we thought of the trailer. So that's what we've done. We've recorded a special Type 40 extra. It's on at 8 p.m. tonight for a good hour or so.
Ian was on my channel on Tuesday night. He had to leave to go and record this.
To go and record that, you're absolutely right. Yes, he said, I've just been on the Rabbi show. And so they've got that one. And then a couple of days ago, I dropped a little video where I picked my way through all these latest rumors that have come about the possible spin-offs from Doctor Who that may happen on Disney Plus in the coming years. So that's for you to pick, to decide, to pick the wheat from the chaff, what's viable and what isn't.
That one today. That was pretty good.
Yes, so thank you for that.
Very good.
But yeah,
so go 25 minutes.
Yes.
I'll try not to step on you. No, okay,
no,
fine.
I'm good.
It's 25 minutes, and we're what month? We're in November. November 7th. Okay, so far November 7th. I want to try and wrap up shortly because I really want to try and get this video out by tomorrow to do so I can get the overview of the year in before New Year's. Anyway, one of my many overviews. This is going to be about a 3-hour one. So Kaleidoscope. This was really fun. Well, there was there was another story called a TV show around the same time by Bob Baker. What was it called again? About a traveler from another dimension on ITV.
Sky.
Anyway, so this kind of ate that. Sky, right. So basically, imagine a Sky Doctor Who crossover, and it's a lot of fun, right? It's a lot of fun. It works very well. This range has been excellent all the way through. Doctor Who Magazine, welcome back, Doctor Who. Rusty Davis explodes with excitement in the late... Yes, Doctor Who Magazine suddenly regenerates and becomes readable again overnight. It's just the strangest thing. We start to see how much money is going to be coming in, which is a lot. This is November 13th. Russell, shouldn't you be making Doctor Who? Do what you want, mate. I'm spending the next week in a brothel. Will Hadley, a viewer of your channel and mine, Will Hadcroft, I should say, your Hadley.
You're close.
Will Hadcroft, your channel and mine wrote this. Did you listen to this yet?
I have.
It's a lot of fun.
I've got a review coming of this as well. Yeah, he's in fact, Will's going to come on and talk to me about it. We're going to get into the whole process behind the writing of the Resurrection Plant.
Yeah, this was totally started life as a Virgin New Adventure, and you could really tell. It really feels like I could imagine the Seventh Doctor in this story, but it also worked with the Second Doctor. This is, I would just say, do not judge a book by its cover. This cover is awful. It's absolutely awful. The story is pretty darn good.
I did wonder if it was Doctor regenerating into a banana.
No. Or maybe he did. I can't remember. I don't think so. But November 14th, get your bingo card or outrage ready because we have Costume Gate. Yes. It's the first time they got it. Yeah.
Another round of lunacy.
Yeah. Well, we've just had the Skinny Gate. Now we had Costume Gate. So did you see about this, Dr. Alex? The crazy Twitter people were really mad that in this trailer, Donna Noble calls the Doctor the skinny man. He said, "Oh no, that's body shaming." By November 14th, this is way better than Living American 23rd. It helped me understand, the movie mission and the nature of Christian faith, I should say, specifically. There is a look, from my theological point of view, I think the end of days are supposed to work out to a point where you go there, everything's hopeless. We can't. There's no way we can get out of this, and I think that's what the midterms essentially were. Doctor Who magazine comic strip, very important to Doctor Who now, as the 14th Doctor first hour is explored over the next year. So this is basically reflushing all the Jodie Whittaker stuff that you would recognize, gone forever, and so the normies won't have to ask about it, right? Essentially, great little I should say so. Where were they? Then Dave Chappelle, yes, from November 17th, waded into this. This was just before Kanye really went off the edge. This was excellent. David Warner's, I think, final turn is this. This is an alternate David Warner third Doctor in with Bernie Summerfield as his companion. It's really a Bernie Summerfield release in Berlin in the late 30s, and it is fan-freaking-tastic. It is one of the best releases in this range. I absolutely love this. It really exemplified everything that's great about this. And everything that's great about Doctor Who was exemplified by this wonderful bit of news we got. I came out, this was on a Saturday night, I found out that the companion was a normal female without a penis. It helped me deal with, what's the name? Was it
Yasmin Finney?
Was it Miriam?
Oh.
So JNT was.
I've got a question.
Miriam Margaret said, "Well, I thought that."
I have a question.
Yes,
it has nothing to do with that. You lusting over anyone.
Yes.
If the Doctor's mother is returning, is this just another nod to all that timeless, charmless child bollocks was bollocks?
No, the mother's not returning. Have you heard this?
Well, it says the Doctor's mother returns on there. I'm going on your thumbnail.
No, okay. I bring up the bollocks rumors and then I joke about them. That's my thing. I use this image quite liberally for the next couple of days. Then after a small gap of 30 years, we had on November 22nd, we had Miracle Man: The Silver Age started. Again, been waiting about 30 years for this. I think by issue 3, I'm going to be onto new material. It's the Doctor Who Nearly Birthday show, and we see how wonderful Millie has been for the brand already. Thank you, Millie. You're fantastic. This made the toxic fans crazy, absolutely great, but not not how much this one did. This really made them go crazy. How Doctor Who got an upgrade. The inside story into Rusty Davis introducing 14th Doctor by Rusty Davis, David Tennant, and more. I can feel my ratings go up already. This made them crazy.
When you put
this was November 23rd. November 25th. We're nearly up to December.
Oh.
I want to push through so I can get done. If you need to go, let me know. I don't want to keep you hostage. But where are we up to? Yes, they finally found a way of selling Jodie Whittaker action figures. Have no reference to Jodie Whittaker. Have the minimal reference to Jodie, and have a brand new David Tennant going along with them. By the way, somebody pointed out his pants and waistcoat are almost identical to Neil Patrick Harris's pants and waistcoat, as supposedly the toy maker, which is an interesting to point out.
It is. It'll go nowhere. It'll go nowhere. It's like when it's like in my view. I mean, I haven't seen the bloody thing, obviously, but people are really running with that. And to me, it's no different to in Star Trek: The Next Generation, where Q is taking the piss out of Picard and he clicks his fingers and he's in a Starfleet uniform. It's just something like that.
Yeah, I think you probably like that. Yeah, so then we go. They kept talking about the spin-off, spin-off crazy. More about the show media's agonizing, confused reactions. The new Doctor Who companion, Mel Gibson.
Awesome.
Mate, you companion, Mel Gibson's making my knickers too tight, and I don't understand. You should see me when I really glam up. Yes, I should. Yes, I should, darling.
Guys, I hate to duck out. I hate to duck out when you're about to reach a crescendo, Rabbi, but I've got to fly.
Yeah, I'm coming to a climax. I'm edging a bit. That's true.
This could be for the best. I'll leave Dr. Alex to take the full load. Good to see you, Alex. Happy New Year, my friend, and cheers for the invite as always, Rabbi. Good to see everybody in the chat.
Get the wet ready. Thank you for joining. Okay, this looks very good. A 1970s talk show with Louise Jameson and Murray Douglas with the Autons. This does look good. Kanye West, I think, has mental illness and psyops. Story for 2022. The only way Donald Trump can win the 2024 election, I don't think it's possible, right? I think the only way it's possible is some kind of like external miracle, either an alien invasion or a messianic event, right? I don't think you can possibly break the ballot harvesting thing. Wednesday Addams, Tim Burton taking the Addams Family for Netflix. I saw one episode of it. And I was like, she wasn't bad. The casting episode, it was a girly show about girls that I'm not really interested. I would have seen her in an ensemble. I would have watched the Addams Family. I'm not really that interested. But then again, amazingly, Disney Plus put out something good. I love this. James Gunn, everything he does is great. Phoebe Waller-Bridge showed evil face again as December began. Indiana Jones and Dallas Destiny trailer reaction. Phoebe Waller, who? Is she going to become Indiana Jones? Did you hear this rumor?
I heard this rumor, and I've watched quite a few Doomcock's movies on vids on this one. But it's just I really have no interest in watching this Indiana Jones movie. I mean, the Crystal Skull is actually not as bad as people say. You can rewatch the Crystal Skull and not be entirely appalled, but I think that's probably where you should leave it. Never go beyond that point.
I think they shouldn't have gone to Crystal Skull. Quite frankly,
it's not great. It's not terrible.
Then suddenly we're in December. We're in the Christmas zone. We have a newsgasm, and again, Millie, you look fantastic. I don't care if you're naughty or nice. I'm bringing the best Christmas ever, and this is before we knew about the trailer. With only the very best stocking stuffers. I do like the elf David Tennant and Millie. This is when the TARDIS interior leaked. That was about 2 weeks ago. A gratuitous sexy picture of Catherine Tate, and why not? As I went over we had a few bits of merch coming out. Just sending out some love, peace and love to John Barrowman. Love a bit of John Barrowman. Having a bit of a rough time. Toxic fandom makes the national press, right? I mean, they are really getting out of control. The new console room, so this might be it. We don't know. So Donald Trump declares all-out war and everybody in power, probably 7 years too late.
On the previous one, it does look a lot like my console room, by the way.
Yes, he does.
It does look a lot like my console room, yeah. Suspicious. Very suspicious.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I added a tint to this. So anyway, so I was saying, it turns out social media, everywhere is used to surveil people. This is not a conspiracy theory anymore. The function of social media is to surveil you and control a population and censor your speech. It's completely replete with people working from the intelligence services. And this is what the Twitter files just dumped recently. It's like, so the government specifically says who can and can't talk. If we had a free press, this would be a big deal. But we don't, so everything's okay. People are mad at James Gunn. This happened at Christmas. Blake 7 box set. Oh, this kills me. Do you like Blake 7? You ever seen it?
It's a long time since I've seen it, but I do remember it being good. Yes.
So anyway, so they're doing these what's I gonna say?
Got the theme tune in my head now.
What's it? Adaptations of them, right? For these novelizations of them, I should say, right? Of oh man, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons right now. Hang on, I'm trying to do two things at once. That's never a good idea. Fine, I'll switch slides. So they're doing these novelizations of them. They all look very, very good. The set costs £100, and then the shipping for me in Israel, the whole thing will come to about $200. Too rich for my blood, baby. Too rich for my blood. I'm afraid I'm out of that. Rusty Davis was awesome. He gave us a trailer on Christmas Day, and I just think that just because I think he loves the fans. Do you know who Frobisher is?
I've heard of the Penguin, but I've not seen or anything with the Penguin in.
So the Penguin is almost certainly coming. And we'll say we go. Let's get us right through to the new year, right? So so they had a media meltdown. We have the toxic fandom still.
I do love that.
Hilarious melting down. Then on Saturday night, we have the countdown 2023 is in 2 parts. I think at 7:00 we're going to drop this this story, where I go through all the SFX and Doctor Who magazine covers for the first 6 months of the year, and you really get to see the repeated themes, like so many. The year of so many failed girl bosses, we couldn't even fit them all on the thumbnail, right? Looking back at 2032 in Doctor Who Nerdom and beyond, to look forward. So that's at 7. That goes for about an hour and a quarter. And then at 11:00, you get time. So you get the countdown exactly at midnight. We get the Rabbi from another planet, Hogmanay. Take the piss. That's as sad as the time ran out. We do the next 6 months. And we have to say, I thank you very much to Nicola Bryant and Millie Gibson, who clearly posed for this cover, and that wasn't Photoshop at all. Rabbi, I don't think that's the cable you're tossing. Oh, darling, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. And there we go. That is the year in review, right? My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.